Should be live.
Cool. How'd everything go with your daughter's surgery? Sounds like it went good.
Yeah, it went amazingly well, which is ridiculous. I mean, she was only in the hospital 4 days, which is in itself ridiculous for us.
You have to pay for each day in the hospital?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, and she was in the PICU, so every night in the PICU, I mean, $100,000 maybe? Yeah, we're talking $500,000 for that 4 days, I'm sure.
Wait, so who pays for that?
The state of Illinois.
Oh, okay. Do you have to pay out of pocket, though?
Fuck them. No, not for her, no.
Okay, yeah, right.
Nope. She one of the adoption benefits. They took away a lot of foster parent and adoption benefits because people were like running slum orphanages. So they made it not very monetarily good to be a foster parent. But what they did do is try to give some benefits for adoption. And one of the benefits they have given for adoption is until they're 18, children can stay on various different state plans. Because of her needs, she can stay on Medicaid, our main state insurance, which is nice because that's the good one. The kids are on kind of one that sucks, really. So just a different kind of plan. So no, we do not pay out of pocket for any of her medical expenses, which is good because my wife and I pay like $20,000 a year for insurance and then pay on top of that for, prescriptions and everything. So obviously it would be, I mean, we know lots of parents who have children with special needs, and is on their insurance too, because we've built those relationships up. So yeah, it can be really, it just can be awful. Even with good insurance, it can be really, really bad. So, yeah, and we, especially when she was so sick several years ago, just around the time the podcast started, actually. Very rarely were there any parents, whether we were at the hospital or at the rehab place, the rehab hospital, because, a lot of these parents are working 2-3 jobs just to pay for the medical bills. Because their kids got cancer, or their kids needs therapy, or their kid's sick, Yeah, so that really sucks. But she is doing great, and, yeah, it was funny. We, it's about a 10-hour surgery, and there were our primary orthopedic surgeon and a secondary orthopedic surgeon, and then some residents, interns, students, anesthesiologists. Those are surgeons or doctors too. There's a lot of doctors in the room, plus all the nurses and staff. But our main surgeon comes out to us after she goes back to the hospital room out of surgery. And we had her wheelchair with us, and so he's like, "Can I push the wheelchair?" And we're like, "Dude, he's an older doctor. He's like, "You've just been doing surgery for 10 hours. Like, you don't need to push your wheelchair." He's like, "No, that's going to really help me. I'm having hip replacement surgery in 3 weeks." Yeah, so our primary surgeon, who was on his feet for 10 hours, is having hip replacement surgery. So I am glad he told us that after the surgery and not before. But yeah, no, it went well, and she's been in recovery really well. So we have a hospital bed at the house and reclining wheelchair, so she's basically just been across the street at church a couple times since she's been home these last 2 weeks. But we're hoping by Thanksgiving she can get out a little bit more, and all the follow-ups aren't till next month, so she's got tons of follow-up appointments. Yeah, they opened up her whole back, straightened every single vertebrae, put screws in every single vertebrae, and put them between two rods, and kind of kept her spine in place. So pretty intense thing. But yeah, it's amazing the just visibly the difference. And hopefully, obviously, down the road, it will help her and keep her okay, because it would have just gotten worse and worse and worse. Glad it's over, and yeah, just like you were saying, work has been so crazy these last few months as we're, 3 congregations are merging, and that just kind of came out of nowhere, and so that's been awesome, and the first kind of big step for that's all been finished. We had like 3, well, I guess I've had 5 big meetings that normally we only have about 1 a year. Well, I've had 5 of those big church meetings this month. So, and then, tons of prep and tons of work to make it all happen, and it's gone excellent. And so, yeah, so everything's great, but besides, yeah, my car that's a whole different story. My car failed its emissions test, and I still haven't gotten it to the shop to get the light turned off so I can go so I can't drive my dumb car, not because it doesn't work, just because I don't have valid license plates. Because it didn't pass the emissions test. So
I haven't dealt with car trouble in like 5+ years.
Yeah, right.
So when it fucking fails,
it sucks. It always sucks.
It's so bad. You forget
sucks.
how bad it is. Like, you forget, at least in LA, I'm so reliant on my car. Our public transport sucks. So,
really? LA public transportation? It's not good?
Sucks. They love fucking lobbying against public transpo here.
Really?
We have a lot of like car headquarters here. Toyota was here. They moved to Texas. I think a bunch of our people, like, there were a lot of automobile headquarters in LA for a long time.
Wow.
They're all moving to Texas because Texas is new dumping grounds. But
right.
Yeah, they famously lobby against public transport.
I never
in LA.
realized that.
So like we're the biggest city, the biggest, richest city in the world with the shittiest public transportation. Like, I think you can go to like Portland or see any of the coastal states, all of the East Coast, etc. They all have great subways and stuff, and we have nothing. It's non-existent.
Oh yeah, man, that's got to make it like intensely. Well, I know the traffic and pollution is real bad out there and has been for years. I didn't realize it was based on all that. Wow. Yeah, that sucks. I've never really lived anywhere with public transportation, so we do. I live across the street from a train station, so I do live by a train. But obviously our train system is not as what's the best way? I love the train, but it's not as updated as maybe it could be here in the U.S. Right? Those high-speed rails would really be cool, but no. So, but yeah, I could drive to the city, or I could take the train to the city, but I never ever do because I don't mind driving.
Oh, I forgot. Actually, in local politics right now, there's an election coming up.
Yeah,
and they another big push against public transpo here is that they could create a rail that could bridge like half the fucking county, but it would have to go through the Bel Air Mountains, and the rich people don't want that.
Yeah.
So like, we have rich neighborhoods all over LA that definitely don't want any fucking public transportation.
Yep.
To them. So yeah, I don't know. It's fucking awful.
Stupid, liberal, rich people ruining our country. unlike the soldier conservative rich people also ruining our country. Go figure. Seems to be a pattern. But at least at least I got alcohol and hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast tonight. We'll see how that goes. Oh, well, are you ready to start the show?
Yeah, I just opened up the outline. It's a little outdated. Are we good with like the question of the supporter corner question and spotlights and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's this week's question.
Oh, I thought that was last week's.
No, that was a question from the community last week. This is now the community's response to that question. So we had a podcast question. We have no podcast questions. Oh, one. We have one. So, hey, if you're listening, go jump in Discord and write some questions. It's gonna be a long freaking show. It's gonna be a short show. So that we'll go with that. And wherever it takes us, Mino. I assume you have things that you're gonna talk about, and I have a feeling it will take care of itself. Put it that way.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Hey, well, welcome everybody on YouTube and on Twitch. Let's start the show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everybody to episode 211 of the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. This is recorded on November 3rd, 2022. I'm your host, Mark, and I'm not alone. I am joined by my good friend and yours. It's Mino Spellgood. Mino! Good to have you back. How you doing?
Good. At least I'm not sick anymore, so that's good.
One positive at a time.
Other than that, I was just telling Mark it's been a rough couple of weeks. I'm sure he's going through too. I know people say it's really what is it? Not condescend, but you like downplay people's struggles when you're like, well, at least you're not a starving kid in Africa or whatever.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But for some reason, when I hear that, it does make me feel better about my situation, as in like it could be worse. Like my brother-in-law was telling me the other day, he's like, you gotta take a step back and realize we've won like the lottery to live like in a first world country and have like first world problems and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people find that demeaning, but it does help me. I guess I just like the thought that everybody's struggling, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways that I approach that. The first is I have to do this professionally. I have to care about other people's problems. But, part of it is realizing that for everybody, I'll give you a really good example that sticks with me. So several years ago, my daughter was really, really sick. She literally almost died. One of several times she's almost died in her life. But this time, several years ago, she almost died. She was in the hospital pretty much the entire summer. So it was just me and the boys and working. And so trying to do things for my boys who were fairly young at that time. And so I got them in swimming lessons. I'm the only dad. Every time they had swimming lessons, went down, hung out with all the moms. And there was this one mom, love her to death, but complaining all summer about how her pool just wasn't, she was having her pool done, having a pool installed, and it just wasn't coming together. And so every week there was some, the contractor fell through, the water system didn't work. There were struggles. And so like part of me like, bitch, like my daughter's dead, like almost dying in the hospital. I'm by myself and you're complaining about my pool. But on the other hand, I'm like, for her, for this, wealthy white woman, that's a real problem for her. And that feels real for her. Right. And so it's there's not a contest. Like sometimes life sucks for everybody and things don't go our way and we don't have control over everything. But I do like, not necessarily the context that, hey, at least I don't live in a, third world country, but the idea that, hey, man, it could be worse. Like I mean, literally just even looking at our own lives, like it has been worse. And I look back and, they're little, we call them Ebenezer's. It comes from the Bible, this kind of these little monuments all around our house that are reminders of when things have been really bad and then how things weren't bad anymore. And so like, just kind of the calm after the storm or kind of the everything settled down and just those reminders. Hey, sometimes things are really bad, but that's not the end of the story, right? There's always more to the story. Or you die. I mean, that's the other, at the end of the day, things are going to get better or you'll be dead. And whatever happens, whatever you believe after that, right? Either nothing or it will be really good. Like, I mean, those are really the two options. If you can, I mean, there's a couple people who very few people that believe like, oh, definitely when I die, I'm going to a very bad place and it's going to be real bad. Like nobody believes that. There are people who believe other people are going to go to a bad place, but generally
Yeah.
speaking, the vast majority of the universe believes that either when I die, I'm dead, or when I die, it's going to be something else, something exciting, something new, something different, right? So, yeah, like, so I think that's a good perspective to have. And so, maybe that's a good perspective for us to have on DeFo, which is why we're here today. Not
Yeah,
just
I was
sharing.
gonna do that segue, but
Yeah. So there you go. So, hey, welcome to DeFo. It's been a time. And I do thank Mina was not feeling well last week, so thank Poto Cedar and Joe Wags for pinch hitting there and filling in last week. That was a lot of fun. Shared a little video. Joe and I did some PSA card trading, so I shared the mystery package he sent me here on YouTube too. But we did have the Squex community stream the last time since last time we had our podcast last week, and so we'll go over that here in a minute. Really not a lot of other bugs and updates besides obviously the new content. I do believe I think Nidre brought this up. There are bi-monthly BT and high armor material packs. So you can get like here if I jump into it here, I think they're you got to scroll down a little bit, but there are these twice a month packs. I think they're fairly new. I don't know how long they've been in.
I think they're new. I think they're
Yeah.
new now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first
So
time.
the Ruin Ultimate Nuggets, you can get 10 of them.
Yeah.
You can do that 4 times every twice a month. So you can do up to 8 times if you want to get more BT mats. And I think you can do the same for the armor. No, maybe you can. Maybe it's just BT mats. Yeah, BT weapon enhancement, $20 US dollars. You get basically a nugget. So or not even. Yeah. So what is it? 1 nugget, right? Let me look. Yeah, I know it's 10 nuggets and some armor. So, yeah, I think that's a terrible idea. But if you are desperate, that's something new. I don't think there's any new costumes. Minwu didn't get a costume, which seems, I don't know, it seems racist. Why didn't Minwu get a costume?
What would his costume be? What would
I
his costume be?
I don't know. Did he wear a different costume in Hell? I don't think so, right?
I
They
don't
had
think
the
so.
same. They had the same sprites, same costumes. It was a long time ago. They didn't update the costumes, but how much do they cost? Yeah, $20 for here in the U.S. It's not great, but if you really like to spend money, we'll talk more about that. And we did get the community stream rewards, so that's always a nice little bonus. It's always nice, especially playing. Starting playing. I've been playing Dokkan Battle. And starting that up, always good to remind yourself how generous TiFo is compared to other games. And how easy it is to actually pull a character and upgrade them fully without a headache. So it's got diminishing returns at this point in the game. But yeah, that's kind of the news of the day. So let's talk about the Squex community stream. A couple things. Not a lot of information or not a lot of unexpected stuff. Obviously, the calendar of events, which we did expect, status quo. There were some quality of life improvements. Now, I have not used the first one at all, which is the addition of favorites. So if I go to core here, I can now select him as a favorite, and I can put him in one of the favorite spots. I don't know what that does. You can assign them and assign up to one of 6 groups and filter by these groups. So I guess if you want to filter by your favorites to make things easier, since we have 160 characters now, that's a way you can do it. And you can filter more characters into different favorite groups, right? So I could do like, I don't know what, but have you used this at all? I have not touched it until just a second ago.
Not yet, but it is something that I've been wanting.
Okay.
I didn't know if they implemented it in JP, but I was actually happy to hear this. I haven't used it yet, but I would definitely love a personal sorting system for the characters I have built, or characters who
Okay.
specifically do a thing. Like,
Yeah.
so I do appreciate
Oh,
the
yeah.
feature.
And you can rename them. So right, if you wanted to do like, favorites, you can make one like off turn damage or traps or
Exactly.
something a little different, or great
More options is
great
always
auras.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, more options.
So yeah, let us know in the comments what you're using your favorite slots for. Share pictures on our Discord, join our Discord, all that kind of good stuff. So that was one of the quality of life. The other one is there's a consolidated mission reward. So if you go to the missions, everything's just a little bit cleaner. You can see everything's kind of on one line. Everything's a little smaller on my screen. So just another simple quality of life for the game. Nothing game breaking, nothing super exciting, but something nice. Always appreciate those quality of lives. They also announced a Black 5-day campaign and sale. So during the Black Friday 5-day campaign, which will be November 24th through the 29th, there will be a first free multi-draw on select banner, and 5 days of daily mission rewards, which will give you extra character points, enhancement points, and extra horse things, stones. There we go. And so that will be good to catch up if you need to catch up on that kind of material. Plus, you can buy the 500 gem chests every day. I think they're usually about $1, so they're pretty good buy if you're looking just for best gems for money kind of expenditure. You can do that once per day during that period. So besides that, there was no surprises. All of the characters we expected to experience are coming. So it's the Minwu cycle, the Celeste cycle, Von FR, Hope FR, Celeste BT FR, obviously Minwu BT FR, Aranea FR, and Dorgan new character, completely new kit. So but no crevasse, no abyss, no special content, no Dare to Defy, nothing like that. So pretty I did not watch. This is really the first month in probably years I did not watch the Squex community stream. It was Halloween. I was out with the boys the entire day doing trick-or-treating stuff. They got out of school super early because apparently it's a holiday here. So I was with them all day doing stuff. So did you catch the stream? Anything else you want to add? What are your overall thoughts about this coming month?
It was in the background. I think this might be the shortest stream they've ever done.
Oh wow.
I think if you take out the quote unquote pre-show, this was like 30 minutes tops.
Wow.
Maybe. It was ooh, man, this is the first time in a long time we've got nothing new. And usually that's not so bad, but this is not a good time in Defo. And I'll talk more about that fucking later. But the point is, like, this is the time where a Dare to Defy could have been so fucking appreciated, especially because of the nature of these fights we've been having recently. I wasn't able to come last week and really fucking tear into it, but this last month plus this latest event we've got. This is some of the worst time I've ever had in Defo. It's some garbage game design, and we'll talk about that later. Not garbage time. People throw that term around way too liberally, but the design of these fights have been fucking awful. Did you? I was gonna wait till we got to the fight, but did you see Excalibur's Excalibur and Deathstroke? They do the breakdowns of the fights, right? And these fights are getting less and less mechanics. Like garbage time fights have had more mechanics than these guys. This last fight was a fucking joke. Like,
well, I believe I'm pretty sure it was Excalibur, and you can check out Excalibur on his YouTube. I'm pretty sure he did an auto battle duo fight on this fight. I think Core Minwu, I think he auto battled. He had to set it up, but then he auto battled with those two. The Shinryu fight. So so that says something. And it certainly doesn't say Minwu's so overwhelmingly broken that he can auto battle every Shinryu moving forward. No, this fight was not super overwhelming.
Right. And again, I'm not saying it's garbage time because you still need a recent competent team to kill these things.
Yeah.
But once you get a recent competent team, that's it. Like they might as well just give you the rewards when you hit the start button, because these fights do nothing. As long as you can do enough damage, you win. Oh my god. Did you guys look at these fucking mechanics? Not just for this fight, the last couple of
Yeah.
fights we've had.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till we actually get to the fight, but I needed to be mad fucking now that this fight, the bosses had 3 moves that they cycled through in order, so you always knew what they're gonna do. One of those is a brave attack, and it's a single target brave plus HP into a brave attack into an AoE brave plus HP, and then it
Correct.
just repeats.
Yep.
Like, holy fuck. 5-year-old could have designed this
Yep.
fight, but we'll wait till we get there. But that's indicative of the whole last month of fights. I wasn't here last week. I'm gonna rant just a little bit, but the whole Tifa cycle, the whole Renoa cycle, like, those were all those fights. It's bad enough that player power is so bad that Renoa and Tifa stomped all over those fights with no resistance. But even if you try to bring weaker members and try to respect the mechanics, there are no mechanics. Outside of Force Time, these enemies have 2 moves, a Brave attack and a Brave plus HP. And then inside of Force Time, all they did was either give you a paralysis to waste your time or take consecutive turns to waste your time. The past, like, 7 fights, 5 of them were like that. But I digress. Let's move forward with the show before we really tear into that.
Yeah, so yeah, we will. We'll transition a little bit and we'll get into the event here in a second. But before we do, we may come back to it later. We talked about it a little bit. There's a lot of content creators that are stepping down. Obviously, 40, our friend 40 the Broadway saying, really stepping down from making content. I think Liz and Rez stepping down a little bit, as much content as they were making, years ago. Josepher talking about trying to diversify his channel a little bit more. I think BC taking this month off, right? Or yeah, I think he said he was taking this month off. And so I did want to say there's still a lot of people doing great content for DissidiaFFOO, even if I don't really have any interest in doing a tier list. I'm not uploading polls. I just, right now, I'm not interested in that stuff. There's just way too much going on. I'm happy to do the podcast when we do the podcast. That's kind of what we're chilling with right now. And yeah, that does, believe me, that does not help our analytics or our income or anything else. That's just not why we do the show. We're not into it. And right now it's some of that, but it's also just the time, right? There's been a lot going on in my life these last few months. But yeah, Tonberry Troupe still doing great stuff. Cell's doing great stuff. TonberryTroupe.com is doing great stuff. Mino already said Excalibur, not only on the YouTube channel, but all the infographics he's doing, Destrop on YouTube, and also doing things. Joe Wags has been doing stuff for every character of Al, all kinds of great stuff. He's just hit over 3,000. So definitely check out Joe if you're not following Joe Wags. Our friends Treevoid Multiracial Alliance still doing good stuff. I know there's probably some other people. Is there anybody else, Mino, just comes to mind that, hey, if you're looking for people to kind of to fill the DissidiaFFOO void, anybody that you're seeing or maybe that's kind of jumped up that's doing good stuff?
Sinewave's been stepping up lately.
Doing character evals on Reddit too, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been posting more in general, but I think he wants to do an eval for every new character coming out, which is very exciting. I think some of his insight's good.
Yes.
So I'm gonna bring him up when we get to the Minwu section.
Yeah, awesome. I did see that he's been posting on Reddit. Pretty much the only person doing anything valuable on Reddit right now. So thanks, Sideway, for that. So very good. Hey, well, we do have a spotlight corner this week. Last week, one of our questions was, who's the best and who's the worst member of the community? So our wonderful intern Poto Cedar said, let's ask all of you what you think. And again, if you are a member on YouTube, which is only $1, if you are a follower on Twitch, which you can do, or a sub on Twitch, which you can do for free if you're an Amazon Prime member, $2 if you're not. You can get into these exclusive things and let us know how you feel. So Cedar asks, in your personal opinion, who is the best person in this community? Who is the worst person in the community? We take no responsibility for anything that's about to be said. Obviously, this is all in good joking and good jest. So there you go. As this sleuth says, this got political fast. It did. Rivik, I think this is Rivik. Oh no, this is Indolent Lard. Says X2 Mata, best member, worst. I sure hope I'll see Gadaj Saga from every fixed Gadager. Raw Life, the shock jock of Defo. Oh, shout out to the Raw Life hour. The live stream. Live stream still kicking it. Yeah, I apologize, live stream. Every Monday night. Raw Life is the best, and he says Mino's the worst. So, no bias there. Crush says, whoever I say is the best, and whoever I feel like is the worst. But he does seriously. He says Cell and everybody. Tonberry Troupe doing great stuff. And worst is Gray, the co-op troll, still around there. You can still end up in co-op with Gray, and he will AFK, and it's super annoying. I wish they fixed that out. Frog says the best people in the community are Florida State fans, and the worst are Deke fans. Groot Goose says Paleface is the best person in the community, and Sinewave is the worst person in the community. Multiracial says Ink is the best person and Sir Will is the worst person. Bart says Blind Eye is a genuine barbecued flavor cinnamon bun, and he says the worst person is Blind Eye is too nice. He must be faking it. Could be. Stray says the best are 40, Quetz, Cell, and Materiabot. Materiabot is great. We love Materiabot. Shout out to Quetzalma. And the worst is everyone else. I hate you equally, especially Inkwelter. JD Terraforce. Oh, they were talking about. Lily says Poto Cedar, best person. It's always good to suck up to the mods. And he says Raw Life is the worst. Sleuth says Eamon is the best person in the community. Shout out to Eamon. I give him a hard time. And worst is Tree Void. Red Cane says Cell. And worst is Co-op Trolls. Yeah, shout out to the Co-op Trolls. You're getting a lot of love tonight. Lita Freya says, everyone I've had the pleasure of meeting in this community is the best. Hey, wonderful. And worst is anyone that advocated for no more Dare to Defy. Anyone who advocated for no more Dare to Defy. I agree with that. Infamous Element says, best, no clue. I don't live in Discords. Worst is me. Oh, and this is great. Just to end it, you're going to love this. And I think Yin's with us here. Yin says, the best is the new me. The worst is the old me. And I got to agree with you, Yin. That's, you've come a long way. One of our success stories, Yin. There we go. So, thank you all, for sharing your little insights and, just having a good of fun. We do. This is a great community. Sinewave, thank you for the subscription. Excuse me. Tree Void, thank you for the subscription gifted to Sinewave. But this is a great community, and this is really the only reason we keep doing this and keep coming back because we really do enjoy this community. So let's talk about.
Oh, what's your answer? Oh, you already gave your
I
answer.
gave my answer. What's your answer?
Okay, my answer. Let's go. Best to worst or worst to best?
Go worst to best.
Oh, worst, man. So the competition is getting tougher every week. For who the worst member is. I mean, could be main core. There's so many servers that are just plummeting down the hole. Like, could be main cord, could be TCC at this point.
Yeah,
it
can be bad some days.
Yeah, you got like the Sophia server. You got the Materiabot server. Our personal server. It's all shit. We're all fucking horrible. It's like a 20-way tie. Every Discord, every Defo Discord that exists.
Yeah. I have renamed just on that. No one has noticed or mentioned it. I have renamed several of our channels. The channel descriptions. I have edited several channel descriptions to show my reflections on what I think about the conversations going on there. So that's an Easter egg for all you podcast listeners. Check out the descriptions on the actual channels, and you might find some fun surprises. So yeah, so who's the best in the community?
Oh, actually, you know what? I have to pick one worst, and I owe Blart because I remember Blart really wanted this set. I don't know if he answered the question, but the worst member in the community probably JC Law. Best members, it's real tough. I wasn't here last week to talk about. There's a lot of content creators stepping down more. Yeah. Quit Gates even hit like BC. He's taking a month off. There's a lot of people who just aren't as active anymore, and that's fine. So, but the shining beacons of the community, and there still are a few. It's a tough pick. I really want to say like Excalibur
Yeah.
is one of the hardest working content creators in the community still.
Yep.
We already shouted out Cell. I don't have to mention him. He's one of the hardest working
No doubt.
members of the community
100%.
still. Both of
Yeah.
them keep up their quality. Blart's really been pumping out better stuff
Yeah.
recently. He's got a little more active. His runs are still some of the more creative ones right now left in the community. He's doing more stuff. Ever since QuickGate hit Raw Life, and it's basically just Blart and Co. He's really elevated the quality of the live stream the last few weeks.
Shout out to Raw Life, who just resubbed and said the shining beacon has arrived. So
and we said Sign earlier.
Yeah.
He's stepping up to do the evals and stuff. Keep an eye out for him if he keeps it up. He's a close second for me, just because he doesn't have the body of work that the others have just yet. But I've noticed he's been stepping up lately too. So we still have some really good content creators in this community still going strong.
And yeah, I mean, like Joe Wags has started making videos on YouTube. There is, less people doing pull videos, run videos, evaluation videos, should you pull videos, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's potential, if somebody wants to step up and do the work and do the grind, to build a little community there. Again, it's not going to make you $1 million, but, it's not necessarily a great investment for the future, but if you're still passionate about the game and really like the game and you want to play around with that, you could probably do that. And we're always happy to encourage and support other people who are doing that. So, yeah. All right. So let's go on to, as I apparently didn't finish the story, Chapter 3, Chapter 10, Part 1. The wonderful story about Snow being an idiot. That was pretty much the entire story, was talking about how Snow is dumb. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. But we did get a couple banners in this. I'll check that out later. I don't want to read that on the screen. Because we did get a couple banners with a new character. Minwu, we'll talk about in a minute. But Vanille and Locke did get a rework. Both of them got reworks. The kind of overview of the reworks for Vanille and Locke. Zalinks, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that very much. The kind of breakdown of Vanille, if you're not familiar with Vanille, she is a dispeller and debuffer. She also has traps. That's kind of fun. Has a little bit of party support. She basically got more dumps and a little bit more party support. That's kind of her rework. Fine. She's got a really good sphere that dispels when you break E-sphere. But you can farm up some refined ones. If you're still caring about spheres, I don't at all. But if you do, there you go. Locke, if you're not familiar with him, he does big damage, melee damage. He used to do big damage. At this point, I'm pretty sure Locke is not doing consistent damage with his counterparts in the damage dealing circles, but he does give the entire party defense ignore, and he, I believe, makes you unable to be broken. Yeah, party cannot be broken with his BT effect. So, I mean, those things could potentially come in handy. He's a little harder to play than any of the other damage dealers we currently have. He's not super complicated. You don't need a massive flow chart. But he's not going to be, like Renoa, you press her BT and she gets 6 super attacks. It's a little bit more nuanced with Locke. And he basically got one more dump on most of his skills. So that was the crux of his rework. I don't necessarily think I would invest in either one of them unless I was brand new. I don't think I would pull on the Locke banner. I think the Cisne banner is better if you're pulling on this. What the heck is some random person Skyping me? Weird. Why is my Skype even on my phone? I don't even know. I don't use Skype. Anyway, yeah. So Mino, I anything about Vanille and Locke that you want to throw in there? Having used both of them in this, messing around with both of them again, they still do what they do and not particularly impressive in this era, but anything you want to throw in there?
Nope. So, you know what? Some people have been praising Vanille's rework.
That's all, but it's every time Vanille comes back, there's always some Vanille stands. Every single freaking time Vanille comes. Vanille's not bad. Like, she does what she does well, but she is not an amazing character. She's never been top tier. She's just always been a good, solid utility character. And she comes back, becomes, again, usable in that role, but you're almost never needing that role. Like, dispel, debuff. Like, it's... What the heck is going on with these random people Skyping me on Do Not Disturb even? That's going to piss me off. Anyway, so, yeah, I don't, again, she's not bad. She does what she does well, but there's so many other characters that are going to be probably fit on your team better than Vanille. That being said, she can be thrown in there as that third slot. Okay. Yeah. Oh, did you want to say anything else about Vanille stance?
No.
No, we're not attacking you. We're not attacking Sign. So we got a brand new character. It's Minwu from Final Fantasy II, I guess. He dies, spoilers, and then has to fight Emperor in Hell with Scott. When I think that's the real thing. He is a holy damage dealer. He enchants, right? He enchants the party, and imperils the enemies.
Yes.
He has a. So he seems like an off-turn damage dealer, but then they go ahead and do weird. They can't just make a character. Let me just tell you what he does, right? So Minwu, magic holy attacker. He has traps. He puts the traps on. They do holy damage. They heal the party, which is kind of cool. Do some brave gain. That can be on his turn if he presses a skill, or on enemy turns as it ticks down. Nice utility there. He has the teleport ability, which actually deletes turns of the enemies, which I have a huge problem with. He has a normal attack, his holy attack, his EX, is a basic attack, his LD, again, kind of resets, fills his EX gauge, resets the debuff, all that kind of stuff. His BT allows you to basically, his BT effect, kind of in the base of it, basically triggers the traps twice, which is nice. So he's doing even more damage with his limited BT effect, which is only 6 turns. So again, kind of veering towards the off turn, right? But then there's some other issues with that. His LD, or excuse me, his FR, and his FR partner is Kurasame, so I'm going to be interested to see why Kurasame is his partner. Heals the party, batteries the party, and starts the force time. It starts at 150, which is cool. It starts at 150% damage up, and then it goes up by 5% on turn, off turn, regardless, for every brave holy damage done and every off-turn attack. So this can trigger in a lot of different ways, so you can really up the damage if you focus on the off-turn. My big problem is, again, they make characters like this that he really does seem to benefit as an off-turn character. Yes, you can play him as a main party support and delete turns till you're blue in the face, but then he doesn't really seem to take advantage of the most potential he has. And so why do you give a character who can delete turns and then have, this Lufania orb in this Lufania was delete turns, and the Lufania orb's ticking down, and I'm like, why the hell is the Lufania orb ticking down? I'm doing holy damage. I'm doing off-turn attacks. I look at the Lufania orb when it's at like 1, and it's like, oh, you have to delete turns. Like, what the hell? Minwu deletes turns? Why does Minwu delete turns? Why would I press his skill 1 in the first place? I'm sure people are writing all kinds of theses about this. I don't care. It's just like, why can't we make a character that just is cohesive? Like, oh, I like diversity. Well, that's why we have 160 characters. We don't need diversity of kits. We need kits that do really good things well. Why couldn't Teleport have deleted his own turn? Like, how much cooler would Minwu have been if Teleport actually teleported him away from the enemies so you could have more off-turn damage? Because, man, his BT effect can last a long time if he doesn't get a lot of turns. His FR, man, if you can delete, man, you could delete the entire party turn. Think about that. If his teleport ability, like his plus vision of the teleport, did an AoE party delete and deleted the entire party a turn, how awesome would that have been? Missed fucking opportunity, Squex. Yeah, Minwu's super awesome. I used him Eldioni on this. He's great. He's holy, so that's going to suck for him for a while. But, 3 months from now, when you aren't locked out by elemental lockouts, you can use Minwu, and then you won't because there's 27 other characters you're going to be using. Yeah, I hate Minwu and everything about him. He's not bad. He's great, but I do hate him, and I don't care about this character at all. I'm a little pissed off. I had to build him because I do have all the LDs except for one and all the EXs. So I pulled to get his kit anyway, and built him up. Just LD. I don't have the FR, I don't have the BT, but I have everything else. And then I had to do his stupid boards because I have all the boards mastered. And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot. I hate new characters. So, there you go, Mino. What do you think about Minwu? He's super awesome.
Ooh. I actually spent a lot of time with this character. I ended up liking the character, so I'll delve into it. I started with the exact same thoughts as you, and I do agree with you that if they made him far more specialized to one thing, say off turn, that would have been fine as well. But I don't think they really fucked him up.
No, he's not. He's not messed up, right? No, he's not.
Yeah.
He works really well.
Right. I mean, I'll take care of the flavor stuff before we get into it. Minwu came out 8 months ago in Japan. You'll remember that's about when the global community was relapsing back into COVID, right? Like they're like no mask mandate and then mask mandate again. So Minwu was released with Kurosame to kind of enforce the we got to mask up again thing. He's your typical FF2 character. Every time an FF2 character comes out now, you know what to expect, right? It's off turn traps. Always like all FF2 characters favor off turn comps, right? They all have some trap that goes off on enemy turns, be it Maria, Leon, Furion at this point, Emperor, and that's an homage to their game where the best way to play a turn-based game is to let the enemies have all the turns.
Yeah.
You just let them beat up on you and heal it up, and then that's how you level up your characters in FF2. What a backwards, shitty fucking game! But clearly, that's all. They translated that to Defo, right? All their characters are about getting hit and then healing up afterwards, or some dumb shit. So, I'll say this, right? The turn deletion and the off turn is so he can go one way or the other, right?
Yep.
So he can either do a no-turn comp or an off-turn comp. I will say, better as an off-turn character, but the option to go no-turn is not terrible. A terrible example is Reno.
Yeah,
a terrible example is Reno, who they like. I think they had a similar concept, right? Like you can either do off-turn and take the hits, or you can delay them and do no-turn. The only problem is Reno's off turn is so much stronger.
Correct.
And his S1 is so shitty, you get a character where you don't want to press parts of his kit, which feels really, really, really fucking bad. Like that, after so many weeks and months with Reno is a strong character, but he's not a fun character.
Right.
Because I can't press his buttons. He exists as basically a giant aura. And he's just not fun to play. But right, so like I feel like Minwu is a more polished version of that, where his no-turn approach isn't as strong as his off-turn, but it's a viable strategy. Yeah. I'm not going to say no to more turn deletions, since it's such a rare mechanic already. How many characters do we have now? 3, 4? We got Zidane,
Amidatillion, Ultimisha.
Anna Crow.
Oh, yeah, Anna Crow has turn deletion.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's okay, but most people will probably never touch that part of his kit, and that goes with all of his skills. Ideally, if you're running the off-turn comp, you don't need the S2 unless a debuff gets cleansed. Exactly. You don't want the S1 to delete their turns. So there's that on his function. There's a lot of discussion of, does he need his BT or not? Because all it does is let his traps go off twice as much.
All it does is double damage.
And no, see, here's the thing that people don't even seem to understand. It's more than double damage
I
because
love
it's more than double damage because Mark didn't mention his LD, but he has another LD trap, an
Oh
LD
yes,
overhead that has stacks. Once it
yes,
gets to 5, it'll set off
yeah,
another trap. The thing is, every trap that goes off ticks that up as well. So you're not just doing double traps, you're also getting that LD overhead to tick off constantly for even more damage and refreshing all his stuff. So it's way more than just double the damage. So yes, it is extreme. Mark brought up the 6-turn duration on his BT. Uh I don't think that's a problem. In Shinryu right now, that's 1 or 2 force times, right? Like 6 turns for a BT plus, six
yeah.
turns for the BT itself. And I'm pretty sure the game is telling us at this point if you can't kill in 2 force times, you're playing the game
Yeah,
wrong.
you've not been doing your work.
Yeah, so it's not horrible. So I actually putting all this together, I think he's a versatile character that works, as in you can play him the 2 different play styles and it'll be fine. He is also a very how do I say this? A very specialized character.
Right.
For example, like his FR doesn't play well with others, but it's a strong one, right? His FR and his BTFX don't play well with others, and his approach doesn't play well with others. But when he works fantastic, which means like when Holy is not resisted and locked out, he will decimate the enemy. The damage stacks up, and it is a very, very fun rush down. Um, Plus, even if you don't use him optimally, I'm a big fan of characters that can heal off turn.
Yeah, off turn
Uh,
healing is great.
yeah,
Yes.
we don't get enough of those, so I do like it. So in terms of interesting play styles, I've become a fan of this character just because this is a character who can either play certain ways, but you're also encouraged to play a very specific way, which is against multiple enemies setting off traps constantly, barrage, barrage, barrage. So I've become a fan of that character. People talking about raw power, right. If you have Tifa and Renoa, you don't necessarily need them. They can
No.
outperform him in certain situations, and they're not as specialized,
Well,
right? Like
you don't.
Renoa has way better
I
auras.
mean, we're at a
Oh,
point you don't necessarily need, especially with no crevasse, no abyss, no dare to defy,
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah, yeah,
equinox.
yeah.
Like
Of
you don't
course,
need
yeah.
anything this month. Like if you have like is there any event? I think I don't know if it was Tree Void or maybe Multiracial Line. Somebody was saying the next few fights are pretty good. But we're at a point where there are enough powerhouses. Like do you need Vaughn for damage if you have Hera and Tidus and Tifa and Renoa? Do you need Minwu for off-turn damage if you have Core and Reno or whatever? Yeah, so I mean we're
Right,
we're at
right,
a
right.
we're at a point where we're not going to get a lot of characters this month who are doing anything particularly different or new, but I don't think there's any misses this month either. I think all the characters are pretty
Solid, yeah,
solid.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's a solid month.
so I mean, it's just kind of pick your favorites and save up if you need to save up. Pull for things that you'd like to play or things that you think are interesting, and kind of go from there.
Right. And chat's talking about play styles, like the links
Yeah,
is saying play style is too slow for my liking,
yeah.
and I have limited time to play. That's a valid criticism. It's a lot of animations, a lot of
I
fucking
I did
animation.
I did not. I just did Minwu on this fight. I've only done this Shinryu once, and I just did Minwu. But I assume if you just power through this fight, it goes real quick. Like I'm pretty sure you can blow this fight up with Renoa real easy. And yeah,
A lot of people did.
not
People
spend
that
a lot of
used yeah,
time.
people use Tifa as well. So I'm saying like yes, I'm advocating from a playstyle perspective. I think Minwu is interesting. I address the power side from Renault and Tifa. Not necessary. And then for his direct competition, people are already talking about Celeste coming next cycle,
Yeah.
who's also a defensive off turn character. A lot of people want to wait for Celeste as well because she plays better with others. Like her auras are better. She has a lot more battery, whereas Minwu's all Brave Shave.
Yeah.
And because she's a tank with last stand and self heals, there's content she can solo as well.
Correct.
So Minwu is definitely being shunned by a lot of people, but again, right, that's why I'm talking about playstyle. If you enjoy certain playstyles, go for this,
Yeah.
because power-wise, as Mark said, and as I'll rant about later, power-wise, no Dare to Defy, you don't fucking need anybody.
You don't need
at this
anybody.
point.
Yeah, no,
Not
that's the
until,
problem.
Yeah, the next what is it? The next power jump is Jarland. So that's
Jeff.
that's like what,
Yeah.
2-3 months away. So
Yeah,
you don't
2 months,
fucking need anybody at this point. Yeah.
Zamboni
go ahead.
Driver, thank you for the resub. Sai, I have all of them and apparently no self-control. Yeah, well, that's some of it. That's some of it. Hey. But yeah, Tonberry Troupe has the infographics for all 3 of the characters, the reworks, and of course Minwu. Beautiful infographics, tonberrytroupe.com. And then Quetzalma, Materia Bot, and J.A putting together and Pauto Cedar, putting together the podcast polls, so always make sure you check out the podcast polls. Interestingly enough, across 7 servers on the main Minwu banner, 30 people. I don't even know how to interpret this number. 30 people pitying the BT on this banner with Hope and Von FRs on 2 others. Like, I don't get that. Anybody who straight out pitied the BT, tell us, why did you do that? 12 people pitying the FR, 9 people pitying the LD, 47 tickets. I use tickets, 19 skipping. So a lot of people pulling on Minwu, which surprises me. But 30 people pitying the BT, that sounds made up. That sounds like fake news. Like, why wouldn't you just throw some tickets on Von and Hope?
I see too much discussion of skipping until Jarland. So I really think that's probably where the community is. And unless Squex introduces more GL exclusive lockout stuff like Dare to Defy, or more crevasses and more equinoxes, I think people will very comfortably skip till Jarland easily.
Sign says Minwu is more popular than you think. I don't think he is, because it's the worst Final Fantasy game, and he is a sub character of the worst.
The worst Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy Tactics. That's why.
I was talking about the numbered. I don't even consider that an actual game. It's if it doesn't got a number, it doesn't count, right? Type 0, Tactics, World of Final Fantasy. Those are.
Type 0 has a number. It's 0.
That's true. It does have. It does have
say
FF0
in the character select.
It does have a number. You are correct. But thank you. Thank you for that. This story was interesting. I will say this about the story. I can never remember what the Final Fantasy 13 cast remembers, because their timeline is so ridiculous. And I feel like every time the 13 cast is spotlighted, they just make up what they've remembered. And so I don't want to, I'm not going to go back and watch cutscenes and defo, because it doesn't matter. But, I felt like I don't know what their memories are talking about, which memories they're trying to remember. But Hope is possessed by an evil spirit, and most of the story was just talking about how stupid Snow is. So that I like. And there was one interaction I really did like in this story. I was going to post something on Discord about it. There's an interaction between Snow and Renoa, and he makes a comment about, having lost so many people, and June understand what that feels like. And I'm like, yeah, no, Renoa didn't lose anybody in her story. All of her friends are alive, unlike all of Snow's friends, who he fails and who die, and Hope's mom and all that kind of stuff, because Snow is the worst. And I do hate Snow. So, yeah, any comments about the story before we talk about this super exciting fight?
I didn't.
You didn't read the story. You didn't miss anything.
I heard they rehashed a lot of 13 return
13
lightning return
3. Yeah 13.
Oh yeah.
So the fight, Act 3, Chapter 10, Part 1, Imposed Destiny, the White Dragons. The elemental lockout of the day is if you bring anything but holy, you're screwed. So bring holy or non-elemental. It does absorbs ice damage. So very confusing, because Minwu's partner is Kurosame. as Mino said, the boss rotation is literally 3 attacks. 1 single target HP attack, which gives them a self buff. 1 single target brave damage attack. 1 AoE ice attack that also gives them an attack buff. And that's it. And then they go into force time, and they do get a ice storm when they get 100% force time. Cleanses all buffs. Recover from break, AoE, brave, plus HP damage. Boss will take 3 consecutive turns in a row. You can negate force time by using a FR attack that does not deal brave damage and enters force time. That's exciting. Minwu, obviously. But interestingly enough, in this force time, because this fight wasn't easy enough, you can actually tick down their force gauge, their force time, by deleting their turn. So even if they go into force time, you can just delete their force time by deleting their turn. So that was sad for them. And that's it. That's the entire fight. I literally brought Minwu with his LD and Core and Gladio, and they blew themselves up. Like, I'll bring LD because I'm advocating for LD only Minwu.
Oh my god.
I'm not. But he worked fine with his LD. Like he did his job. It was not a very difficult fight with Core and Gladio. I probably didn't need Gladio even, but why not bring that extra damage? Why not bring 3 people? That's it. Yeah. What are your thoughts? We've already talked about some of it, but
Oh yeah, it's another shit fight on the shit fight pile. Part of the reason why these are so bad are because the players are getting, like, the player side power is going up exponentially. Tifa, Renoa, and Minwu are doing so much more damage that like what? More than triple what the old DPS were fucking capable of, basically. And so player side power is growing, and enemy side power is fucking shrinking.
yes.
Like, it's bad enough that we're getting so strong, but the enemies are getting less complicated.
Yeah.
They're getting less moves. And now you don't even need the proper force time to cancel
No.
enemy force time. You could just fucking delete their fucking turns. Like, they're trying to make it easier and easier and easier. What the fuck happened this week and last month in JP? Because they must think like all their players are fucking brain dead and content just needs to get easier and easier and easier. Because holy shit, this is some of... I honestly gotta say, I think playing GL day 1, this is some of the worst content that I've ever seen in the fucking game. It is so fucking boring. The bosses do nothing.
No,
they do nothing.
They
nothing. Want to die. It's like they're sitting there begging you to kill them because they're so fucking useless. They don't even respect the Shinryu force time anymore. And that's an error with Shinryu that we'll address. Infamous Element asked the question that'll be the crux of our post discussion today, but holy fuck, what is happening with the design team? Did they all just give up? Did they move everyone to SOP and there's like 2 people working on this game?
2 people. Yeah, might be the reality.
This is for the record, this is when Nidre quit JP. It was this fight.
Oh wow.
And I don't blame him, because if I had no foresight and no thought of things getting better, and this is a callback to when we the beginning of the podcast when Mark is saying things can only get better or you die.
Yeah.
So, like, if I didn't know things were getting better, I would probably quit the game at this point too, because you just wasted 6 weeks of my time with non-existing content. You can't call this content. The bosses don't fight back.
Right.
None of these bosses have been threats. Even if you don't have the damage to clear these fights, they can't fucking do anything. Oh, like, there's no decision making. They cycle through 2 or 3 moves each, and they're only threatening in their... The whole concept of Shinryu, this is Shinryu at its worst, is that this is a turn-based game, but the turns now take forever, because it's not actual turns in the game, it's force times and bursts are the turn. So the player will start the fight, and they'll be like, okay, maybe I'll burst, this is my turn. And then the enemies will go force time, and the enemies are like, okay, this is my turn. Then you go force time and you cancel their force time. My turn, fight's over. And that's the whole fucking... This isn't even turn-based RPG at this point. But I mean, like, I'll really fucking dig into it when we get to the questions, but fuck this fight. This has got to be the worst designed fight in the history of the game, both because the players are just so fucking strong at this point, and if I was at a
people on
job,
Reddit are loving it. You know, oh, I just destroyed this. I mean, I still see it. You know, people I've been on some other Discords, brand new players, like week old players beating Shinryu. They love it. Everybody loves it. So I don't know.
you get bored of it, and
yeah,
like you see this in like in FF14 as well, and I'm sure Mark can speak on some of that too as well. Is like they make going through the story super fucking easy, and eventually the novelty wears off, and you just get bored.
Yeah,
because it's like what are you even fucking doing? I don't know, man. It's terrible. There's no game to be had at this point. As people are saying, things will get better, but if this was all I could see on the horizon, why would I play this? Like, I imagine any other game you're playing 5.5 years in, and they give you a fight with 2 attacks, 3 attacks. Is that acceptable as a weekly update?
right.
For all you shitty FF14 players out there, if they introduced a raid and the boss just did auto attacks and had no mechanics, like, is this fun for you? Nobody would play that shit. Somebody should get fucking fired for designing this fight 5.5 years in. I'm fucking serious. This is unacceptable work. Like, at my job, I would tear into any fucking employee who did something like this. I'm mad for whoever's in charge of Defo that this got approved and became content. Like, this is shit. Dog shit.
It's real bad. But there are some better fights on the way, and then garbage time. But if you're struggling with this fight, that's okay. That's okay. You can come on our Discord, get help. Excalibur, great guide, infographic. Destroth has a good guide as well. Lots of great people online with runs and all that kind of stuff. You can go into our Discord, and there is a help channel and also a run completion channel for every single event that you might be looking for. So, moving out of this event into... do you want to do some general podcast questions first, or do you want to just run with some topics?
We do the questions, but Sinewave redeemed a Q&A here, and I need to open up my game. Ranking of Minwu's weapon skins. Tier list weapon skins. So you have the game open right now. Let's go through that real quick.
I don't have his BT or his FR, but let me pull up Minwu here. So his appearance, he has these are the normal ones. Flower, chocobo, staff, those are so the other one is that's kind of cool, like a feathered ball. That must be his 15. His 35 is like a mace. Looks like a mace. That's a good look. I like that. He's kind of got like the Magi vibe.
What
from
is that? That's so ugly.
It's like a mace.
That's not a mace. That's that's an antenna for. That's a cable.
Yeah, no,
antenna.
that's what mace is turned into. Then he's got this weird looking scally scepter thing. And then the LD is it is a weather vane. The LD is a weather vane. So so you got a satellite, or you got a cable antenna, or excuse me, like a TV antenna for antenna TV. You got oh no, this is a snitch. This is the golden snitch. So he's got the golden snitch, he's got the TV antenna, he's got his Halloween Hellfire Club costume. He's going as Eddie, Stranger Things, and then he's got a weather vane. And I can try to check and see, look and see what the BT and FR. I don't have either of those. But looking at the FR and BT, the BT looks like it's literally just a Stardust rod. It's literally like the most generic staff in the game. That's really bad. And the FR is it is a light staff. His two main weapons are just generic staffs.
Yeah, this is hard.
That's
sign. But for the Minwu mega fan,
Wow.
you know what? You know what? Sign did. I don't know if you saw it. He posted a YouTube video where he edited all of Minwu's attacks next to what it looked like in the in FF2,
Oh, I did not see that. Oh, I'll have to
which
check that
was
out.
beautiful. Please,
Yeah,
if you can get more videos like that, I
that's awesome.
couldn't
Yeah.
subscribe harder because these fans love that shit, especially for Defo, which is a fan service game. But it made me actually appreciate him more of how true the animations were to his game. So you should check that out, Mark. It looks
I
really.
will.
But for you, super fan, I'll take this question seriously. For some reason, I can't show it on Mark's screen, but for some reason, um, I have his. Which weapon is? I have his burst
Yeah,
equipped
the
because
Stardust.
it matches the color scheme of his shield.
It is the
So it
same
just
color as the
looks right.
shield. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks right. Um, I like the LD because these are like simple staffs. I thought he was supposed to be wielding staffs. I didn't know
Yeah.
they were maces. If they're maces, like the fact that he has such different looking weapons is really cool. For example, his EX is a fucking like demon horn shit,
Yep.
which makes sense, right? He's fucking dead and he goes to hell. So I
He's
think that's a cool
dead and goes
nod.
to hell.
Yeah, that's a cool nod. You got your little thorny LD here. I'm really not sure what that's supposed to be. And then you've got your I think the 5G antenna is the
Yeah,
ugliest thing I've ever seen.
it's terrible.
But it's unique. But it's unique. It does look very different. You know what? That's skins, these glamours, they should look as different as possible to appeal to as many people as possible. So I give Minwu props for so much diversity in his glamours,
He does
but
bring a lot of diversity to Defo, so that's very exciting. Yeah.
Why? 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 Explain your.
Well, you
Explain
already
your
said
comment.
it. We don't have a lot of masked characters, so
We
now
don't have a
we
lot
have
of
two.
male white mages. I think Minwu's the only
He is.
official male
Yeah.
white mage in the entire numbered series.
I mean, well, no, yeah, the original one, even the original White Mage was female. Yeah.
This is it's the male nurse effect. You know, this is something I've dealt with work just to get anecdotal. It's I think 10, 20 years ago, male nurses were derided and looked down upon. There's an initiative to normalize that, and all of a sudden, a very viable career for men. So Minwu, thank you for pioneering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are other male characters that heal, but specifically white mages. Like he is a white mage. Yeah. So
Yeah.
of the white mages that are in the actual branded white mages.
What other male in Defo has a buff that says white mage?
No,
Right.
right? No.
So exactly. Yeah. Right. Of course.
Uh yeah, so great content. Blartanian has a question from a few weeks ago that we haven't had a chance to answer. So Blartanian says, "Hi Mark and Mino, longtime listener, first time caller. If you two disagreed on a topic that you needed to reach a consensus on, say, who gets the top bunk bed, how would each of you choose to reach a decision?" I assume there's some context behind this. I don't know what it is. So Mino, how would you respond to this question?
I it's in my nature to respect my elders. I would defer the bunk to Mark.
Hmm.
Hell, I defer things to him right now. When it comes to the content creation and the podcast and everything. So I mean, I don't know how to make that a funny answer. I would legit just Mark's the boss as far as I'm concerned. Right? He came first.
Is there is the live stream having some difficulties? Is that what the context is of this? Is there some inner office turmoil over at the live stream offices?
Have you not been watching the last few weeks?
I haven't watched any content. I haven't really watched TV at all.
That's fair, but the thing is just like with Raw Life quitting, Blart has no. Even though there's three people, let me put it this way: even though there's three co-hosts on the live stream officially, there's not actually three co-hosts on the live stream. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because Blart is a personality.
Yeah.
And without Raw to bounce off of, without Raw and Somegi to bounce off of, I think Raw has done the silent quitting for Defo. We haven't seen him in like over a month on live stream or in our channels. And then Somegi left Defo for the degenerate world of FF14 rating.
Yes. Oof.
So now it's just Blart and Leafblade Mouse. I'm not even sure how they chose Leafblade Mouse to be a co-host, but have you listened to any of the episodes he's on?
Yeah.
Because he'll probably say like one or two words
Yeah, right.
for the entire 2-hour run. Like, so a lot of times I'm there watching live and I forget he's I forget he's there. And then a rotating door of a third co-host slot, which is usually Blind Eye. And, you know, sometimes I'm not even convinced Blind Eye is there. Sometimes I feel like there's a proxy. Somebody's on a different computer under the Blind Eye name, and they'll just make a Seymour or Waka reference once in a while.
So
you know, like an FF10 thing, or like, you know, Blind Eye's signature laugh. So, right. So, like, Blart's a little lonely now.
Yeah.
And I understand why he can't stir up any drama on his own show now. He has to reach out to his sister program, the TCC podcast.
Yeah.
And of course, like, you know, bunk beds, as all Psych 101 students know, signals a desire for an equal companion or partner.
Yeah. I would choose by casting lots. I think that's always the most fair way to do things, is to cast lots, roll bones. So however you do that, I use actual bones when I cast lots. I don't know what you people do for casting lots, but it's very biblical. That's how they chose Judas's replacement in the Acts, a book of Acts, Acts of the Apostles. So they had to choose a replacement. If you didn't know this, Judas, who was one of the 12 disciples, he killed himself or died because he bought a cursed field. That depends on which one you're reading. But generally, you know, we consider he killed himself. So he had to be replaced because reasons. And so they cast lots, which is the same thing the Roman guards did to decide who would get pieces of Jesus' clothes. They also cast lots. So a lot of lot casting. Actually,
what does cast lots mean? Is that like
roll dice? Yeah, roll dice.
Oh, okay.
But they would use bones, you know, cast lots, throw bones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, just like you would, you know, play games of dice in the street. You know, like I mean, I assume that's what you do. I mean, I've been doing that since I was young. Good game of dice. Good game of dice goes a long way, right? Yeah.
Blind Eye's typing in the TCC general chat. Oh, damn it! Okay, he's listening. I didn't know who exactly was all here, but all right then. Okay, next question.
Yeah. So thank you, Blart. That was a great question. I really appreciate that. And no, I haven't been watching anybody's content, so I apologize in advance for that. Just the reality. I haven't been watching anything, at all.
Blind Eye says, Mino says, I have a signature laugh. Blind Eye, I want to say, all trolling aside, in all seriousness, like, I mean no offense. When people say they mean no offense, they usually mean offense. But this is the 0.001%. When I say I mean no offense, that your laugh reminds me of Dr. Hibbert's laugh from The Simpsons. Not as deep, but like you have that like laugher. I can't do it. I don't want to continue because it don't seem like I'm mocking you. But anyone who's watched the live stream or the other 4 shows that Blind Eye is on every week, they know. Come on, guys. He has a signature laugh, and it reminds me of a lighter Dr. Hibbert laugh. I'm just gonna put that out in the universe right now.
Yeah, great. And yeah, there's some conversation in chat about confusion between casting lots and the character in the Bible named Lot, Abraham's brother, or cousin, something like that. Yeah, very different nephew. Yeah, his nephew. Very different thing, but that's where the expression casting lots comes from, because Lot got casted out of Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's where it comes from. No, not at all.
Are you fucking serious?
No, not at all.
Damn it! No. I would have believed. I would have believed. Damn it, that was so good.
Not to my knowledge, but he did get cast out of Sodom and Gomorrah. He fled from it, actually, after he offered his daughters up to be raped by horrible men, and women too, probably. And then his wife got turned into salt because she couldn't keep her filthy eyes away from it. She had to watch the whole place burn to the ground. Great story. Anyway, Infamous Element says, listening to the show now, so here you go. Design a Shinryu fight. Mino, here's your chance to shine. What should Shinryu fight look like? Next Shinryu fight. How would this fight have been better? Maybe let's just talk about that.
Okay. I've got a short list of this shit. Let's see how long we actually. If I thought it was going to be a short show, let's see if we run it up the full 2 hours.
Yeah.
I've had a good amount to drink now, so I'm nice and loose. But I've been saying a few things since Shinryu was even fucking introduced. So I'll harp on my first thing first. I remember when Shinryu was first introduced in JP, I went on this big rant about them taking away orbs, and I fucking hated it because I said in the 4-year history of the game has been adding layers for every fucking difficulty. So you had like I forgot which comes into which at this point, but basically you know how the stats increase at thresholds.
Yeah.
That might have been a Cosmos or a Chaos thing, and then you had the orbs on top of that, and then there was something else on top of that. Like the difficulties kept building and building up. It makes no fucking sense to me that Shinryu would get rid of old mechanics and replace it instead of having mechanics on top of each other. There's no reason you can't have a Shinryu force gauge and an orb
right
at the same time. There's no fucking reason. And if anything, it would help because, like people are saying, there's no reason not to run Renoa until Jarlin drops. Zero fucking reason. Well, if there were orb conditions to check, maybe. But I wasn't here for last week for the Crevasse talk, but I jumped into live streams for a bit, and they were talking about how like how Crevasse replaced orbs you could change around for force weaknesses you can change around, right? And many people, it doesn't even fucking matter.
Doesn't matter
because they will blow up the boss before that gauge is charged.
It's almost never mattered. Like, I mean, in this
force
era.
weakness is just fucking stupid as shit. Force weakness is dumb as fuck. And apparently here, you don't even need it. You can delete turns again. Like, why even have a force weakness? Like, there's no fucking point in this anymore. I always said I was a rare supporter of the Lufania orb because it encouraged you in a game of 160 fucking characters. It encouraged you to change it up once in a while. Without that, there is no reason not to change it up at all. Nidre famously ran cam every fight up to this point just to see if he could. And he could. And there's no reason to run a different strat at this point. This is peak creative bankruptcy in Defo. Fuck Shinryu force. It could be interesting, but I have no reason. I have no concept of why they got rid of orbs because it is way less fun and way less complicated. To add on to that, the next item on my list is how about make them a threat outside of force time?
Yes.
Because 100%. These guys, none of these guys do anything outside of force time.
And often they're not very threatening in force time. So
even if they were threatening in force time, the fact that you could just cancel it.
Yeah.
Like they're just telling you, hey, we're giving you a button that makes you literally not have to deal with any fucking mechanic. How is this a game at this fucking point? Like, holy fuck, dude.
And this, this fight had 0 thresholds. No thresholds. No thresholds for no HP thresholds and no force thresholds. There was no force gauge thresholds in this fight.
You know my favorite...
They negated 2 major things that we do.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what my favorite thing about this shit-ass era is that they are removing complexity as they go. They've lost their fucking balls. Everyone was so excited for that first month or two of Shinryu because they had mechanics.
Yeah.
If you fucking remember, like, they had force gauge thresholds.
Force gauge thresholds,
yep. Those fucking float eyes would throw out guaranteed petrifies at force thresholds. Then they had stat thresholds on HP, and then they had HP poison on their force gauge as well. Yep. So, like, they had so much shit going on that first fight, and then you look at this fight, no HP. Like, they introduced they upgraded their UI so they could mark in the HP when shit was happening. And then you pull this fight up and there's none of that. Why even introduce this system you're not using it? What the fuck, Squex? Like, I don't know. I blame Joshua, who's probably the head creator of the game. And like, come on. Like, this is so
I think that's clear now.
This is so condescending. This is so condescending to your player base. This isn't even a game anymore. There is no interaction. So please add orbs, bring back mechanics, not add mechanics, bring back any semblance of mechanics. Make it so that not everything is loaded in the force time, so there's an actual fight instead of just wasting time dicking around until one or the other side builds up a force time. And bring lockout content back. More lockouts, you fucks. Like, these are some... Oh, I kind of want to touch on Crevasse. I know I listened into the show. You guys had some great insights, but I wanted to know, like, how did you feel about the Crevasse code lockout system in the Shinryu era?
Oh, right. I mean, it just forced you to... I think we talked about it last week a little bit, or I talked about my opinion in terms of, forcing you to use the, for max points, you had to use these characters, or this kind of subset of characters. But yeah, the force gauge was completely meaningless. That didn't mean anything. And so, and if you didn't go for max points, it wasn't that challenging. You had so many options to do 2 and 2, that, like, who cared? Like, they weren't challenging fights at all, unless you said you have to use these 3 characters. And if you did, and very few people did, like, I think I saw less than half a dozen max scores. Most people did not go for max score because it was really, you had to have pulled and upgraded those characters, or not. And so, right, I at the end of the day, my biggest issue with Crevasse is it was a it was a couple hour event and it's done. So it was just another event.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I think I said this last week, the reason I like Dare to Defy, like this, like, somebody made a comment about co-op, I don't even do co-op. Like, why do co-op? Like, there's no reason for me to do co-op. Like, maybe I'll run through the event once, but I don't grind co-op at all. I just don't care at this point. Maybe I'll do one run of co-op and that's it. If I do one run of co-op.
I think in the future they load in some juicy ass rewards in the co-op. You know how they condense.
Well, but then they do the skip tickets. They do the co-op skip tickets. Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, so this week, let's just look at this week of Defo. This is it. This event. This is it in the last week. From the last show until this show, we've had one event, and that event was this chapter, and that took about an hour of my time, and it was not challenging. The hardest thing about that was upgrading Minwu's character boards, like unlocking all the stupid character board stuff, because there's no like auto all button to unlock all the character boards, not character boards, the summon passive boards. Like, that was the most challenging thing. Redbeard, slow down and chat, man. Other people can talk too. It's okay. Hang out, man. Glad to see you, but come on. Take a minute. Take a breath. Take a breath between thoughts. It helps everybody. But yeah, I mean, the thing I really liked at the end of the day, I really like about Dare to Defy is it was additional content spread out throughout the month. It wasn't just an event, another hour. It was a time, I could choose how to approach it. I could choose how to do it. And I get all the other arguments, but in the game, I don't need to make other challenge. I mean, I don't have, I love all of you doing the challenges. Eamon and Treevoid are doing that great stuff. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. My challenge is play another game. I don't need to do the work, right? And especially if this is the content, what's the challenge on this fight? Like, use 3 EX characters? It's probably doable. Like, you have enough defensive characters. Like, you're telling me that Gladio and Core couldn't do this fight by themselves? Without FR? Like,
let me jump onto that, like, because it was what I was kind of saying earlier is that I tried to do that last month, and it still wasn't rewarding because all the mechanics were just stalls.
Right.
Like, because it wasn't like orb checking, and it wasn't like how do I deal with this cool boss mechanic. It was, oh, if their force time gets off, they paralyze you, so you so they take more turns, or they take consecutive turns, so they take more turns. That was it. That was the only mechanic.
Yeah.
The only punishment is, oh, I wait longer. That's it. Like, if it was like, if they killed you, if they gave you an interesting debuff, if they did whatever, it would be way more interesting. But what the fuck, man? 6 fucking fights of, oh, my force time is to take 3 turns in a row. Or, oh, my force time is to paralyze you. Mine's is to petrify you. It's the same fucking shit. Like, it was so fucking stupid.
Those used to be called HP thresholds.
Yeah. Right? And like, there was some chatter of this in another server today about it too, but it's just like, even like there hasn't been a TCC challenge in a long time because the game is just not the way Shinryu is you either have the unit strong enough to do it or you don't. It's not like you're not interacting with anything. And again, this is isolated the last month or so. I did have fun in the early Shinryu months and stuff, but this last month and this week really fucking pissed me off. Of course, Tree Void is saying like, "Oh yeah, they fix all of this moving forward in 8 months." That's 8 fucking months. We're talking about right now in GL. It sucks ass right the fuck now, and we're telling them we hate it because I don't fucking want to see this shit again. I'm gonna go through chat real quick during our rant of people chiming in because there were some like really good points in here. Tree Void saying the Kane Shinryu just flat out killed you when you were under a certain amount of HP. The old execution stuff. Remember the beta of the 6-man warrior quest? Like, those were fun. What the fuck happened? They can make fights with lots of mechanics, but apparently, I don't know, too much job security over Swex or some shit. Somebody thinks they can't get fired for turning in shit work anymore. So Maggie says half the time threshold attacks end up benefiting the player anyway because of how overtuned counter units are right now. Right now, like I was watching some of Joe's stuff, right? And Joe has a point where right now it's either rush down or counter teams. That's it. And then I remember Nidre countered with, it's always been rush down or counter teams. There's just shitty rush down and counter teams. But it never felt so binary as it does now. Because as I said, in the Lufania, there were mechanics to check in between your rush down and your counter.
You had to bring certain people in Lufania.
Yes.
You had to deal with the orb. Sometimes. Yeah, most of the time, you had to deal with the orb.
There are 0 mechanics to deal with now.
Yeah, no restrictions.
You can bring Tifa Renoa Cam for 10 fucking months and not meet any resistance, or you can bring Gladio Core Galuf with no fucking restrictions. By the way, I've seen a shit ton of Core and Galuf, Core, and Gladio this last month and so, and people think they're big brain. Guys, these are fucking busted ass characters.
Yep,
you're not.
They sure are.
This is half a degree better than Edaroth. You're not impressing anybody, guys. These characters suck ass. I hate them play style wise. But right, like there's just nothing to and somebody brought this up earlier I wanted to address. Their shitty way in this shitty month of trying to make you to use different characters are the shitty elemental lockouts,
which
they're pieces of shit because the feature characters group enchant anyways.
Yep.
All they do is make a huge subset of the cast useless. That's any enchanter or elemental character that's locked out, and makes non-elemental characters stock increase like fucking crazy. This month sucked. God, not even in fight design, but the way they did lockouts was fucking awful. I know they dropped this. They dropped this eventually because this is what stupid fucking idea of, hey, you just can't use half the cast. They're inherently worth less because they can't do content like a normal person. R.I.P. Ferris, R.I.P. Ferris, and then and I forgot to shout out Sign for his insightful Minwu eval, but he had this great section at the end saying he ran a Minwu saga in JP for a few months, And for the next month and a half or 2 months, it really was bring Lada and Setzer with Minwu
Yep.
and carry his ass. And he had the insight to say, I probably could have slotted almost any other character here and did the same, if not better. But this was just to get Minwu through.
Right.
And like, these lockouts are just so shitty to instantly invalidate these characters for no fucking reason. It just makes pulling these characters like Minwu and Celeste and Ferris feel real fucking shitty. This is the worst 2 fucking months of Defo. I'm gonna say that over and over. This is shittiest fucking game design I've seen in a long time. This is fucking awful. And then, sorry, one more comment I'll throw back to you. What did they say? They introduced the most potent healer. Sinewave says they introduced the most potent healers, Minwu, in a fight that doesn't do anything at all. But yes, this is terrible. Hopefully this was enough to answer your question.
Yeah.
Not Theologica. Fuck.
Was it Indolent Mark?
Yeah. It's a long time fan. Starts with an I. Infamous Element.
Infamous
Come
Element.
On, guys.
Infamous
How
Element.
can you disrespect your fan base? Like, it was Infamous Element, Mark.
I deleted the question, so I didn't remember.
This answers your question, Infamous Element.
Yeah. Some girl says. Some girl says, "Thank you, Infamous Element." He's in chat with us. Some girl says, "Let's lock out half the cast, but not lock out Tifa and Renoa." Yep. Frog asks one last question. If you want to ask a question with us live, just give a super chat or a gift a sub or something and shout it out, or you can redeem your points if we're paying attention. I don't see that on my side. Mino sometimes sees that. Frog asks, which character in Defo is the most honest? So I'm going to answer the opposite question, because that's always good to do when people ask you questions. I know I can't speak about who's the most honest, so Mino, you can answer that. But I know the most dishonest character in Defo. You know the most dishonest character in Defo, Mino?
Who?
Lion.
Explain.
Lion.
Elaborate.
Lion.
Oh my
Lion.
god. Oh my god.
Because she's lying.
Oh my god. I just want you to know this is how Blart drove off his co-hosts. They got really sick of his fucking dad jokes. So
come on.
Word to the wise.
Come on.
I wouldn't.
That's good.
I wouldn't continue down this path if I were you. Oh my god.
Great.
Holy fuck.
Great. I only said that because Redbeard's in chat and now he's triggered. So,
I don't have a better answer. I don't have a better answer. I know the context he's asking in is
yes.
Eamon recently penned or he didn't pen it, but we were making fun of, like, what is an honest run? What is a dishonest run?
Oh.
What is a dishonest character? Oh, using Renoa and calling content easy is dishonest in that context. So, like, who is an honest character? Who is a dishonest character? Yeah. I have no funny retort for this. I guess
Alize,
if you really
bring Alize in content and buy her solo. There you go.
Wow! Please don't read the dad jokes in chat. What is This is what happens. You tell one dad joke and then you unleash the floodgates, and now everybody wants to tell their shitty dad jokes. I'm not gonna read Gestel's dad joke. You guys can check the VOD for that if you want, but I'm not gonna play it.
That's pretty good though. That's pretty good though. Infamous Element, thank you for the gifted sub to Hanchu. Appreciate it. That's pretty good, Giselle. Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
TV says it's only honest if you run Ulti or Caius, according to Eamon.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, bring Thancred, Excalibur says. Yeah, there you go. You know what? Let's make that the next week's supporter corner question. Pot, when you get around to this, can we make the supporter question? Who is the most honest Defo character?
Yes,
who's the most
excellent.
dishonest Defo?
Yeah.
I really want to hear from the community on that. Yeah.
Well, our good friend Eamon does have a way of just trying to justify his own favorite selections as the
dishonestly
the predominant best characters in Defo. Yeah. So yeah, that's not a great thing. So Well, Mino, anything else from your time away from last month? I think we covered a lot of stuff, but anything else that you wanted to um to talk about? You didn't get to ring into Quitgate. We talked a little bit about that last week. A lot of people stepping down. I know you've mentioned it, but yeah, I mean the game's been around a while, and what's there to make content on? So I mean, like, even thinking about like
Okay, you know what? Yeah, you want me to touch on Quitgate? I think the reason Quitgate is a thing, and that I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a lot less Shinryu polls.
yeah,
Is
why
because
why
yeah, it's because the content is becoming so easy and uninteresting that people don't need help
no
anymore. You create a community when there was a choice on who to pull, when there was difficulty deciding, do I want this character or this character? Oh, this hard concept's coming up. Hell Month is coming up. Hell Month is a term we haven't fucking heard in years. Like Hell Month's coming up. Is this character better? Is this character better? That's been out the window in recent Shinryu times because certain characters are just so much fucking better than others.
right?
We're talking about Tifa and Renoa, right? Like Tifa and Renoa did over like 3 to 5 times more damage than any DPS that came before them, and they are focused on brave gains and non-elemental, so they all automatically beat this fucking month
Yeah.
to two characters locked to elements with specialties. Whereas, like, why pick anyone over Renoa at this point until you get to your next non-elemental champion, Jarland? And at that point, it's always non-elemental champions over. Like it's just so easy to say 90% of the cast is shit now.
Yeah.
And without lockouts, just add fucking Dare to Defy so people can't run Renoa and Tifa for every
single
fucking
fight.
event in the
Yep.
game. And you'll add so much depth to the game. Even you know what? I'm gonna steal this line from Somegi. I remember she said, like, during this lockout months, Dare to Defy would be even more interesting because that would give more weight to enchanters and stuff.
Yeah.
Because think about, like, oh, you can only use Holy for these 3 fights, but you can only use Minwu for 1 fight. And then you'd have to, scramble for more Holy enchants. That would make the game so much more interesting. Even FFRK did fucking lockouts. I don't know what Defoe's fucking thinking at this point. Like, Dare to Defy at a minimum should be every fucking month. I'm gonna sound spoiled, but when they announced 0 new changes for this month in Defo, I actually got mad just because the game is just so boring as is. Like, if I play JP as is, it's just so boring. If there's no lockout content, there's no decision making on pulls, no decision making on team comps. It's just a flaming pile of shit. So
Yeah, well, Tree Void brings up a good point with the Dare to Defy is that the elemental lockouts, you can still use non-elemental damage, and that's one of the reasons that's not so. So I mean, to really make true, like, you have to do this damage would help a lot too. But again, that's a fight issue they've been having. I do actually think, I mean, it's hard to say, it's just speculation. I do think, regardless, even if you just did Dare to Defy, I think it would trip a lot of people up. I think it would trip. I think yes, we would be able to do it. But it takes that much more of your roster. And I mean, again, like, yeah, why do a tier list? Because, like, there's not really any misses this month. Like, you're not gonna, like, none of these characters are gonna hurt you. Like, pull any one of these characters, they're gonna work fine. Next month, pull any one of these characters, they're gonna be fine. Like, there's no misses coming up. Yeah, there are some overpowered characters, but you don't need them. And if you, like, you can't make mistakes when it comes to pulling in Defo. So why do a should you pull? And their characters aren't particularly complicated. So I mean, you can do videos reading all the stuff. I mean, but like that's not gonna, just you pull the character, you upgrade them. I mean, that's the big thing people still need to be reminded of do I need the BT, do I need the FR? Yeah, if you're gonna pull for a character, pull their kit. Like, that's a video. Like, I could make that video. Yes. Do I need to pull? Yes. Pull all the weapons for the character you want. Don't try to pick and choose. We're not 2 out of 3 EX weapons anymore. Come on. Either invest in the character or don't invest in the character. At this point in the game, don't pull on a character that if you're not pulling on their kit, just don't pull on them. You don't need their stuff. If you want to pull on them, pull on them. Pick up Minwu's BT and FR. Why not? At this point, you pull the kit or you don't pull the kit, but that's it. So that's a 5-second video.
Yeah, and the only fucking thing I have to say is I really think a game is all about decision points, and when you remove any decision and interactivity, this game is gonna fucking die. If there is no struggle between people picking which character to invest in, or which characters to bring in a team, or how to tackle a fight.
Oh, God.
What happened?
Oh, Sinewave's comments too good. Oh, wow. Oh, Lord.
My God. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
My God.
That's, man, top tier. Check out Sinewave. Doing the Lord's work. Good job. That's good. That's good.
Anyways, the whole point is difficulty creates a game and keeps the people around. The more difficulty you remove, the faster you're going to kill your fucking game. The more difficulty you add, the more tight-knit the community gets, the more reason there is to create content, the more reason there is for people to go on Discord and Reddit and the forums, discuss things. There's nothing to discuss if there's no decision to make. Make everything fucking hard. It's okay if people can't do content. That's almost every game. This game's literally spoiled people. So many of its player base thinks they should be able to do everything when they don't play any hard difficulties in any other fucking game. Make your game hard, or it's gonna fucking die out. I don't even want to talk about the failing fucking sales that JP's been seeing. But
and again, I think last month, in terms of why am I investing in the game? Last month there was shit ton of costumes. So I think 3 brand new costumes, or I guess two. I guess the dress was Tifa's dress was the month before. Tifa and Renoa. So yeah, you had Tifa's dress, you had Renoa's new dress, you had Era's dress, you had a whole bunch of weapon skins. There was that reason. There is a couple decent costumes this month. But again, not really heavy on Celeste's costume and Vaughn's costume, but at the end of the day, are you going to be investing in the game? If you don't need to pull, if you don't need to upgrade material, if you don't need to, you better have 2 banging costumes a month, and if that's going to be it, I guess. So, I don't know. I'm not anticipating spending anything this month besides the Mog Pass. I'll keep that up.
Yeah. Anyways, at the very least, I know Treevoid's been in chat all fucking night saying it gets better, it gets better. Hopefully the content gets better, but I also know I've seen some complaints in JP and the sales are suffering real bad right now just because just the Shinryu. There's only so much you can do with the Shinryu format. I think if they just add an orb, and I think things will improve vastly. But the way that Shinryu is built, where it's big turn, your force time, their force time, your force time, their force time, BT, and the fact that you can just straight out cancel force times is so stupid. Somebody was saying in that first 2 months of Shinryu, they were guaranteed at least 1 force time because they could charge faster than you.
Yeah.
And then so canceling force times was a luxury. It's not I invalidate the entire fight, it's I get my ass kicked less. Instead of them throwing 3 force times at me, they throw maybe 1 or 2. But right now, it's they throw nothing at me and they do nothing. So, I don't know. They could really make everything more complicated, make everything harder. Increasing player power is not the way forward.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we do have some more interesting fights on the way and a lot of good characters coming up, depending on what you're looking for. So thank you, Mino. Thank you, everybody who's been hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Treevoid, for taking Mino's assault since BC's not with us tonight. So
I was nice at Tree Point today. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So but thank you all for doing the work you are doing, continuing to be the community that you are. And we'll see. We'll see when we have the next podcast. But when we do, we'll get back and we'll talk about everything that's going on. Yeah. So this has been episode 211 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded on November 3rd, 2022. For myself, Mark, and for Mino. Good luck on all your Minwu pulls and all your Minwu sagas. And Vaughn and who else is next? Vaughn and Hope coming up. So we'll probably talk about them next time. And we'll see you all later. Goodbye. All right. Move into the post show.
Yeah, let's move into the post show.
Thank you, Mino.
Any of the CCs like TV and stuff that we don't give access to, or Sidewave, if you guys want to just jump in, feel free to jump in.
Yeah.
Or let us know. We'll drag you in.
Yeah, if you want to jump in the one of our voice channels, even like Walmart, we can drag in. Music back on for a second. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, super positive energy tonight.
I really want to hold out that things get better, but also this was inexcusable. I like, if someone does a bad job, you need to let them know they did a bad job. Like, this is unacceptable. I love Defo, but like Nidre, I would have fucking quit if this was all I saw on the horizon.
Well, yeah, and I think you brought up just a ton of great points, because like it's like just no mechanics. Just no mechanics. It's not even some mechanics. It's no mechanics. Like, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's no fucking mechanics, man.
I believe Tree Void is here.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for pulling me in there. I just want to clarify one thing, because I've been gaslit this whole stream. But
you have
what I was saying about
you have met Mino, right? You know you.
Yes.
Okay.
I've interacted with him on stream before, so yeah, I'm used to it. What I was saying about future fights is the next 4 months actually are about equivalent of the last month and a half that we've had. This is actually the best month, probably up until the four fights a week format that JP has.
Wait, so you're saying we'll have a good month and then it'll go to shit again for a few months?
This is the good month.
Oh my god.
And then the next 4 months we'll have about 1 or 2 good fights a month.
Oh my. Well, 1 or 2 out of 6 is
like story chapters and 6 warriors sometimes, and the Spiritus fights. But everything else is terrible. Like all the IWs, all the lost chapters, they're just filler fights.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say was, like, be ready for this to continue. This whole conversation felt very garbage time-esque, at least in terms of the sentiments you guys are sharing, even if we're not exactly in garbage time.
Yeah.
And even when we were in JP, especially when we got to Echoes, that's sort of when I got into JP. It felt very garbage time-y. And I was sharing that sentiment a lot at the time as well. So it doesn't get better.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah. As a word of.
Oh, good. So yes, thank you for coming on and just sharing hope with us. No, Billie Eilish. Woo. Oh, wow.
Right. I want to reiterate, this is not garbage time. Garbage time it's not when I don't like the game. It's when there's, like, anyone can do the content. Any character can do the content. I don't think Shinryu ever sinks to that. I think you have to keep your roster somewhat current.
In the beginning of Echo, it kind of gets like that, but never quite as bad as garbage time. These are garbage fights, but not garbage time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would make that
exactly.
distinction.
Yeah. This is
But this is a good month. This is a good month, though. We have 4 good fights. The next 3 fights are good, and I think Dorgan is good. So
you're to hear it first, folks.
Yeah, blame me if the
if you disagree with TV in the coming month, he has his own show and Discord server. You can go fucking attack. I forget what the official name is. Tree Void Hour.
Yeah, it's Void Hour. We'll go with Void Hour. It's
every other Wednesday. Are you guys on this week?
This coming week, yes, we will be on. Yeah, because Wednesday already passed.
Yes,
so not this week. Yeah.
Like the characters are fun. Minwu's fun. There's just no reason to use these characters. Like,
yeah, I would say Minwu, Celeste, and Dorgan are the fun characters of the month. Hope and Vaughn are very linear.
Like when I look at the new characters, when I look at the new character kits, I'm like, this is a fun, interesting concept. Like Dorgan, I think is an interesting concept, but you just never need him. Because he follows some breaks, and then after his follow-ups, he unbreaks, right? Like, that's nifty, that's neat, that's a new concept. There's a lot of combinations with that, but when the fuck do you need that when you can just blow shit up?
He's also tied to Wind Element.
Yeah, I know.
Which is great. Yeah, elemental units are a plus. Always. Never. They're terrible.
BC, get in here. BC has some shit to say. BC, get in here.
Is he?
I don't know. Guess he showed up late. He didn't hear all that shit I talked, so he'll have to get mad tomorrow.
Anyways, I just wanted to pop in there, so thanks for letting me on, guys.
Thank you, TV.
Who? Oh wait. Sign wants to... No, you stay, TV. We fucking Sign wants to jump in now too. It was fucking party in here.
Wow. Okay.
Just like the old days.
Busy at 11 p.m. BC for doing what? All right, here's Sinewave, the second most prolific person in the fucking DeFo community after Blind Eye.
Wow.
He's on 2 to 3 shows a fucking week.
Hey,
what do you say?
I don't show up on the ranting hour. That is a lie.
What do you?
I only show up on like 2 shows because
what do you
Cross has
wanna
no honor.
weigh in on? By the way, I could not praise you enough for the second half of your evals. If we're gonna be real talk, and I'm gonna be mean, I don't read the first part about the skill descriptions. I feel like that gets really wordy and technical, and I know I'm not the target audience for that. But your second half, when you're talking about your personal experiences and insights, I think that's fantastic.
Well, that's always kind of the challenge, you know. It's like you're trying to pick out the details that actually matter, and when it's like these types of characters, you just can't avoid it sometimes. So, thank you for the second part, though. I feel like not many people actually read it.
thank you for the second part. Not all that mean shit you said, but no. I hope you keep doing them because like that's what I personally want to see. Like if I was gonna watch a Should You Poll or an eval, I want to see your personal fucking thoughts on it and not like a listing of potencies and shit. That always bored the shit out of me. But like you actually walk the walk with Minwu. And so, like, that's valuable insight. And you can admit when a character sucks, or not sucks, but the weaknesses of the character, because there's so many people that just, like, praise the shit out of the character, like...
Yeah, because, it's always, like, difficult to, like, you just had, like, Tifa and Benoa last month, and now you have this guy that nobody knows, and, like, nobody's gonna care about who he's from, so
Yeah, so thank you for stepping up and doing the evals, and that like I said, that Minwu video comparing the attack animations, that was great. Can you do that for every character?
Maybe. I think I can, but there's some characters that just don't have a lot of them, like Dorgan, who I think has just one animation.
How long,
the rest just
how long did it take you to throw that Minwu video together?
Like an hour. I don't know.
Oh,
I just downloaded
really?
a bunch of videos and cross-stitched them. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought you played through that yourself or some shit.
Oh, I wish. I don't have my PSP anymore.
You got emulators. But yeah, thanks for stepping up in the content creator community. And so if you guys want to hear more from Sign, he's on Reddit with his posts, and then I think he's on Historia Crux, and then he's a regular on the Void Hour, I'm sure. I think I've seen him on Lost Cast. Let's see, he's I'm pretty sure he's guested on the Ranting Hour once or twice. It's gotta be. That's gotta be real.
I wish.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him on Fireside Chat. He's now on TCC tonight.
People get it. I'm a nobody. Okay, I just.
You're the Orobot of talk shows, right? That makes sense.
Yes, I am the talk show about. That is true.
Oh yeah, you said that.
I sit here and I enhance everybody else's performance.
There you
but
go.
My turn sucks.
Oh, that's great. Always appreciate self-deprivation.
Missing trait.
That's too funny. Too funny.
I feel like Indo would have violated me in chat by now. Where is he?
all right. As somebody who's been on every talk show, which one's the best? Give us your talk show tier list.
Talk
Oh,
show
God.
tier list.
Top to bottom.
I haven't been on all of them, so.
You know what? Actually,
I can judge.
bottom to top.
Okay, bottom.
Anus to snout.
I mean, it all depends on how much I can make fun of the person who's streaming. So I
Okay.
guess Tree Void would be the top.
Okay.
There.
Void Hour is the
Um,
top.
I made
I
an
can't
impact.
believe- I can't believe you call it Void Hour. You just completely cut out Lion.
But, no, it's
Well-
fine. Lion cuts himself out anyways. It's fine.
He doesn't want to be associated with it, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah. It's like a mark of shame,
So, yeah.
really.
Okay. So
I
top
can
Void Hour.
I can make fun of the Void Hour at top. I can't make fun of the Fireside Chat because they're too nice. I don't want to hurt them. So I guess they'd be bottom.
Okay, you
The
heard it
next
here
would be-
first. You heard it here first,
Yep.
guys. Sidewave, who's on every single talk show, said Fireside Chat is bottom tier.
There you go.
I'm burning bridges as I go, but
Yeah, you'll never be on the Fireside Chat now. Or unless you ask, they
Yeah.
might let you on. They're nice. They
I don't want to talk about anything else, but Cross would be at the second, and the Ranting Hour would be also tied with him.
So you have been on the Ranting Hour then.
No, I can just make fun of BC and chat while just doing my own stuff.
Okay, now co-hosts. Top to bottom.
Oh God. Cross doesn't have a co-host. I
Yeah,
can't-
Blind Eye is his co-host.
Yeah,
officially.
yeah, I know.
As of like
wait,
2
wait,
streams
wait,
ago.
wait, actually?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, or am I being
Yeah.
trolled again?
No, this is official.
Wait, Blind Eye is officially on
On
Historia Crux?
Yeah.
And, wait,
Okay,
first
so
of all,
thi-
what the fuck happened to Kaiden?
FF14, I think.
FF14 does not take this long. What the fuck is
I
that?
don't know. Yeah.
Does he play this game anymore?
I know Blind Eye is official co-host.
Okay, so this isn't even a tier list anymore. It's all Blind Eyes. We'll just
Yeah.
put them all at top rank. So yeah.
Fuck.
All
Okay.
just Blind Eye.
Damn, you counted out
happen.
of putting Lion anywhere? Come on.
What about Lion?
Has Blind Eye actually been in more Void Hour shows than Lion? I feel like yes.
Listen,
Oh,
Lion is
no.
a very busy man, okay? He can't make it to quite every show.
I mean, yeah, it's not. Sure, I mean, it's not his fault, but
Yeah.
you know, it just happens.
Anyways, give us some hope for this month, you JP players. Tell us some good stuff. that's
Sign
coming.
is the one hyping it up to me. He's the one who's been telling me it's great. I'm just
Really?
passing along his words.
Oh well, okay, fine. the second fight, Von IW, is really good because you first of all it's a pure no boss turn like fight. Like if you don't know boss turn that fight, they would just heal and kill you. So I like that. Like I guess to hype up this fight, if you ban like 3 characters, it's really intimidating.
So are we gonna see a sine wave hour challenge?
I mean, how exactly?
You said you can ban
I mean,
3 characters. Are you gonna ban those 3 characters?
I mean that's kind of the MTV challenge right now. I feel like that's my exact opinions of the characters that you can lock, like Corti for Renoa. Just don't use those 3. Lock out everyone in one stage, and I feel like this fight would be really interesting, which is why I feel like a missed opportunity with D2D happened today.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be the month for D2D out of all the months. So
Serious?
it is unfortunate that we don't have it. But Sign, if we talk with Eamon, we were thinking of something for Benevelza, but we could do something for like a mock TCC
Wait, what
challenge.
Did you say?
What did I say?
What did you say?
I said like we were thinking about doing a mock TCC for Benevelza's fight. We could also do something for Von IW if it's good enough.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Benevelza? Yes.
I just follow the
That's
English
how you
dub.
pronounce
I believe
Benevelza.
that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Like that's official?
That's the official spelling or
Is that how they,
pronunciation. Yeah.
is that how they say it
Benevelza.
in FF13?
That's how they say it in Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. Yeah.
Yes. The one that Goose hates, I think.
Is that true, Mark? You played that game.
I played what game? The 13? 3?
Lightning Returns.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't play
13.
13-3.
Yeah.
I only
Most
played
people
13.
didn't. That game sold terribly.
I didn't play 2 or 3.
Buenavels.
I played 10-2. That's it.
What? When it.
Bien of View, right?
Yeah.
Buena Vista.
Welcome.
Buena... Oh, wait, is that what Buena Vista means?
Yeah, Buena Vista means welcome. Welcome.
Named after.
Named after what?
No. Yeah.
Finish that thought, Boyd. Named after what?
No, I was just gonna say named after the Final Fantasy 13 character Benevelza.
Yeah.
That's the origin of the word.
What does that name mean? Buena.
Like in the Latin derivation of it.
Yes. Please.
Sure. Yeah, please.
It's
like let's
the-
see, we want to know.
Yeah, it's the god of light, is what it means. Yeah.
Who's God?
Lightning's god.
The god of Fabula Nova Crystallis.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, with Latin, it's God of Light.
Yeah. That's a TV fact.
Kind of cool.
You can look it up. I don't lie.
This is what your show should be about, instead of
Yeah,
whatever.
just the lore.
Yeah, instead of whatever it is about. Like,
I don't. It's not even really about anything at this point. It's about my gameplay. I've been called JP Raw Life.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, Raw Life's gimmick is the gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, what is even your
My
marketing?
show is just a mishmash of stolen ideas, but in the JP version. That was my market.
Do you even fail your runs?
I used to, and then I started clearing them, and my view count went down. So I'm gonna start losing again.
Yeah, like nobody wants to see people succeed. That's fucking
I know.
stupid.
I need to start throwing. I need to follow Raw's example. I just need to be more convincing about it. You know.
like, like people look down on Raw Life as a co-host and a content creator and a person, but I feel like he has mastered the art form of throwing fights, because it's really hard. People disrespect professional wrestlers, but it's very hard to job this hard, right?
Yeah, he's a showman.
Content,
It's a talent.
in content where it's near impossible to lose. he can job so convincingly. He can sell you the difficulty of Defo. Like Squex should hire this man and give him a fucking job because he is the he's the Hulk Hogan. No, Hulk Hogan's not a jobber. He but like in terms of fucking pro wrestlers selling this shit, Raw is a fucking virtuoso. He's
the Rey Mysterio.
He's the Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio doesn't lose, does he?
Mysterio's a champion.
Yeah, he's not a jobber, right?
Raw is the champion of the people. He's the best Defo player in the world.
Let's just call him the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, like yeah, thank you, the Brooklyn Brawler. Like Blind Eye said, any questions? He even has his own fucking pro wrestling catchphrase. Yeah, like come on,
my God.
He's so good. This is so good. Like he, like okay, so there's a lot of Defo content creators with no talent, and that's why they're content creating for this game. But Raw can go to the big leagues. He has legit acting chops. He has what do you say? That's show business, baby. He knows this shit. He's the true champion, and that's why the live stream's audience is just like plummeted now that Raw has quit. I'm sorry, Blart, if you ever listen back to this post show. I hope you don't. But what does Raw say? He brings the it factor. He's the talent. He's the star power. Like he makes me want to watch more professional wrestling. It's really. Have you watched? No, Mark hasn't seen his stuff lately. Like, how does he lose the things he does? He's so good at faking it, right? Like, he'll go like 90% into a fight, and he'll like press like the Brave Plus, and he'll be like, "Oh, I got distracted talking." Right? He got so worked up that somebody insulted Zidane that, you know, he scrolled up.
The overhead fall off.
Yeah, he scrolled up too many. Masterful, and I'm a fan of Raw Life.
Yeah, it's a shame. We'll miss him, but congratulations on the wedding to Mr. and Mrs. Raw Life.
Yeah, he got married now. He's Mrs. Raw Life.
Okay. Blart got married and ended up coming back, so I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah.
The end. Then you have kids. That's why everybody else has quit. Have a couple kids. Can't play. Can't do it anymore.
That's why we have young blood in TCC now, right? With Bamboozled.
Yeah, we got
We're
Sleuth.
raising the next generation.
Sleuth and Bamboozled. Well, I mean, you're assuming Bamboozled's going to live for the rest of the week, so he may not make it through this week. This is going to be pretty tough.
Discord nobody's gonna understand. This is so specific.
This is a post show. It's fine.
I can already see the future. You're gonna see the Django as a helper in main chord. I'm throwing it out right now.
Helper role. Yep.
You know what? That's not even a joke.
That's not even a joke. Yeah, that's next month. That's next month.
Like, have you seen the current lineup of mods? These were not the most knowledgeable people. Holy shit. Oh my god. Like that's Django's there. He's gonna, you know what? Django for 2023 main chord mod.
Yep.
Calling it right now.
He's on the trajectory.
I don't even know who runs main chord anymore.
I know Crush is there. I like Crush. Crush is nice.
Is he?
I like Necklord, but he's
British, right?
Rate the main chord mods. Anus to snout.
But I only know of Crush, but he's British, so he seems nice enough.
What about ZK?
ZK's a mod?
Is he?
ZK's a mod?
I don't know.
Is he?
I don't know. He left us for main chord. That was upsetting.
I think it was when Mark viciously tore into his poll. I remember the day he stopped speaking in TCC was when he made a poll about D2D.
Dare to Defy. Yes.
Yeah, you guys remember that shit?
With a slightly leading question.
Please summarize the event for us, TV.
The poll?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Black
yeah, it was like
like BC said, Necklord became a mod and stopped playing.
Yeah.
Shara became a mod and an admin and stopped playing. Main
which
core
is perfect.
mod.
The
main
Django
cord-
will become a mod and he doesn't play.
Exactly.
So he's already there.
Exactly. Main chord mods, you gain your main chord modship by stopping any by giving up any fucks that you gave about the game. Like that's where you go to retire. That's how you know you've made it. It's just like where do retired pro wrestlers go? They go to what's the analogy?
Rehab center.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
they the graveyard because they die at 40 years old.
Unless you're
What
the
is-
Undertaker.
They go to DDP yoga sessions. That's pretty much it.
It's, do any of the yeah. So I mean, come on, your tier list, TV. Anus is Snout. There's Moyama. There's Crush.
I don't
There's
know any of
Necklord.
these people.
There's
Like,
Necklord. You know Necklord.
I know Necklord and I know Crush, and they both are British. So that's it. I like them both. If
Lion?
Goose was a mod, I would also like it.
Lion.
Because
Oh,
he's
I-
British? I
yeah.
don't know about this.
I'm not a fan of Lion. He has some very suspect
Apparently,
takes.
Lion has been in here the whole time, listening to you to talk shit about him. All
What? Just
So-
lurking? God. I didn't know he was such a voyeur.
This is prime WWE shit. You know, the tag team partners talking shit about each other, and then they have a grudge match against each other next week.
No, that's perfect. I need some violence with Lion. Yeah, come at you. God, I'm so bad on the spot. Sign, give me material. What can I show
me for
him?
material?
Give me
Yeah,
something
come
to
on.
play off of.
Yeah, you
I'm
hang
an
out with Lion all
Orobot.
the
What do you
time.
want?
Why would you
Um,
rem turn swap with an Orobot? This is what's happening right now. You guys are fumbling this so hard. You guys are fumbling this bit so hard.
Can you tell that I'm new at this? Yeah, see, I'm like a
Oh,
little
good.
baby. This is why I was relying on the raw life talk.
This dude's just giving vanilla turn. Like, what are you doing, man?
Oh wow.
I mean, no, Lion is fine. He was kind enough to co-host with me as a nothing creator. So I genuinely do appreciate that. He's a much bigger platform than me. He's friends with all the cool people. So the fact that he was willing to do this was a great act on his part. So I do appreciate that. Lion is a
All
kind
kidding
soul.
aside. Yeah, all kidding aside, I do like Lion. He's fun to talk to.
His
Very
takes are
sympathetic.
whack, but he's very nice.
What do you think they're whack?
Wow.
Can you elaborate on that?
He likes Seymour, which means you're against Blind Eye, which is how do you go against Blind Eye? He's like the godfather of talk shows, so can't do that. Well, you know, he's everywhere. Everyone has to
No,
pay
he's-
their cut to the Blind Eye fund.
He's like the cool uncle that shows up at every family reunion. That's basically it.
The cool uncle do you have those in your family? It's usually
Everybody has a
wish.
cool uncle, right?
isn't
No?
it usually the creepy uncle that
Yeah,
shows up
it's
to the
usually
the
You
cre-
guys have creepy uncles?
I don't. I have one uncle.
That
He's
sounds
great.
like a skill issue.
I have my uncle's great.
You guys have uncles?
Yeah, you have family? I thought we were all orphans.
Yeah.
My family, the trend of cool uncles is always the last single uncle. So like talking to all the cousins, it was basically like their cool uncle was the uncle that didn't have kids at the time, and it was a cycle. It went from like oldest to youngest. Like we had like the oldest cousin remembers one cool uncle, and then when they had kids, they dropped out of the running, and it dropped to the next uncle.
Yeah, no, that's my wife and I when when we were married before we had kids, we spent and invested a lot of time in our nephews and nieces and took them out
Right.
and did things and spent a lot of time with them. So and still have. I mean, they're all in their 20s now, teens and 20s. So so they're
So I thought the cool uncle trope was like universal, right? You've always got that one adult male family member who doesn't really care about your parents' rules and takes you to go do cool shit. No? Is that not a universal thing?
Well, I think like when you hear the jokes, it's always the creepy uncle, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it depends on the
Creepy
culture.
uncles?
Yeah.
Yeah, the creepy uncle who drinks too much and
Mhm.
touches too much, and you
Yeah.
know, like I'm not saying I know any of those, but like if you're like watching, you know, Saturday Night Live or something, some sketch shows, some comedy, you know, that's the joke, that the creepy uncle teaches
If
too
you don't-
much. What?
If you don't know who the creepy uncle is in your family, it's probably you.
There you go.
This is
That's
also true.
not. I don't think that's how that works. Though.
You have to look inward.
So Soraya,
all this-
Soraya
all this-
says Mexicans usually have a cool uncle. So there you go. That's not racist. That's true.
No, it's true. It's based on the culture. You
Yeah.
know, some cultures have cooler
All,
uncles.
all this is teaching me is that there's some problems in America right now.
Oh,
that
no,
I'm not
they're-
experiencing here.
There are lots of problems in America right now. I don't know if you watch the news, but yeah, we got lots of problems. It's not great. But
Big day coming up soon in America. So yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
What
Yeah.
day? What's happening?
yeah, National Sandwich Day.
yeah.
That was today. Sorry, National Sandwich Day. Hope y'all had a sandwich in honor of
I had a
National Sandwich Day.
manwich.
Oh, a
the
manwich! Wow.
A man-
What's the best sandwich? It's a turkey avocado turkey club sandwich. That's the best
It's a good
sandwich.
sandwich.
It's the best
Yeah.
sandwich.
The Elvis special.
I had a pot roast sandwich today in honor of
Fuck.
yeah, pot roast sandwich. Yeah, it's delicious.
Turkey. What the fuck?
Yeah. What is a pot roast sandwich?
So a pot roast sandwich. It was on a French roll. So pot roast, fresh cooked pot roast, delicious. You know what pot roast is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So fresh cooked pot roast, onion, deep fried like onion straws. I think there was some fine cheeses on that as well. Maybe kind of a sauce. Really, really quite good. Very tasty. From the one of the local establishments I go to. Very nice.
Okay. TV, your favorite sandwich, and also just to cut out any fucking shenanigans before they happen.
Uh-huh.
Nobody, if you say your favorite sandwich is a banh mi at this point, you're not funny. That's a
I'm
dead horse.
I'm
that's a
not
dead
carrying
boy.
on the will of ink. Okay?
That's a
Hold
dead
on.
horse.
I'm
Don't
not going-
fucking. You're not clever if you comment
Not
on this
clever.
mod and you
Not
say that
clever.
shit. And Sign and Void, if you guys say banh mi, you're not fucking being clever. Just give a real answer at this point.
Yeah, it's the Elvis special.
What is the
very
Elvis
easy.
special? What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and
Yeah,
banana.
no, peanut butter banana deep fried.
Yep, peanut
Wait,
butter
what
banana.
the fuck? That's a real thing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Elvis's favorite sandwich.
Oh yeah, I guess you're not a big Elvis guy. My town has the North America's largest Elvis festival. in the
Isn't
world.
Elvis American? Aren't you Canadian?
Yes, I know. It's quite ironic.
It is quite. It's hilariously ironic.
Yeah, 2021 was the last year it's ever going to happen, unfortunately. But we used to. So yeah, lots of Elvis lore. Lots of Elvis impersonators too. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite sandwich. Very yummy. Terrible for you. You'll die years earlier by having it. but-
Close Pendragon is asking what's a banh mi. Anybody, I assume everyone who's like a loyal TCC listener also listens to our sister podcast, the Ranting Sister Talk Show, the Ranting Hour, and there's this very famous episode
Yes.
that was the beginning of so many memes where Ink loves describing the food he eats, and he was going into detail about a banh mi, and I just flipped the fuck out, and I just said, just call it a sandwich or something. I don't know. It was a big thing. That was our most famous interaction. That's the legacy of Ink. Was triggering me on that one ranting hour where I just got. Makes me mad just trying to remember it. But Signway, what is your favorite? what is your favorite sandwich?
A lot to choose from. I'm not really a big sandwich guy. I mean, if it's edible, I'll eat it. I guess I prefer the ones with a lot of lettuce. I don't know. Just
What the fuck?
Like a sub,
really?
like a veggie sub.
yeah, like that, like a sub. Yeah.
There, I
like-
put the banh mi up on screen for everybody to see.
See, as you can
That's a
see,
sub. It's just a
as you-
sub.
that's what I was gonna say. As you can see on the screen, it's just a hot dog.
Like I can get that at Subway right now.
Yeah,
It's a hot dog.
the Subway $5 banh mi.
That's a hot dog.
Like, I thought you were overhyping it all this time because I've never had a banh mi, but yeah, it's just a sub.
Yeah, looks delicious. I'd eat that all
Yeah,
day.
it looks very yummy.
I
But,
have that.
I thought it'd be more exotic than that. But no.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not exotic at all. No. Go figure.
This is
Everywhere
my-
in the world, people got sandwiches. Some people call them tacos, but other than that, yeah, that's a sandwich. It's a sandwich, folks.
That's a sandwich.
Are tacos a sandwich? We need Blind Eye's opinion on this.
Yeah.
Blind Eye or Frog
Yeah,
or
they're a sandwich.
Yeah, obviously.
How could they not be?
because they're like deep fried, right? Like you can't deep fry the bread of a sandwich.
Like
Right.
a regular flour tortilla is not deep fried.
Hot dogs aren't. They're not deep fried, right?
Okay. Okay. Well, you don't like toast your bread, right? For a sandwich.
A toasted
I-
sandwich.
I
What
just
the
said
fuck?
what
Sure.
my favorite
Toasted sub, toasted
sandwich
sandwich.
was.
Yeah.
You
Was
said
the
you
Elvis
toast
special.
bananas. You said you toast the bananas.
No,
not
no,
the bread.
no. The whole thing is deep fried.
Yeah, the entire thing
Is
is
a
deep fried.
is a calzone a sandwich?
It's a type of sandwich.
What's are empanadas a type of sandwich?
We're crossing over. There is an entire podcast. Is a hot dog a sandwich? That is an entire podcast. Mythic Kitchen does that, so we're gonna infringe on copyright here thing in a second. They literally have an episode on every single one of the questions you just raised.
Wait, are you fucking dude,
Yeah, Mythic,
bro-
Oh,
you know,
no.
Mythic Mornings. I think that's the main show, right? Rhett and Link Mythic Mornings. They have Mythic Kitchen or Mythical Kitchen on YouTube, and they have a podcast. Is a hot dog a sandwich? And that's it's up in a long running podcast.
Okay, you know what? Since Chad is talking about this and we're talking about this right now,
Ooh,
I
Monte
wanna
Cristo. That is actually my favorite sandwich.
I want to reopen the fight I had with Ink. I want to reopen it. In fact, I would like to invite Somegi on, but I know she won't come on just because we argued this. We argued this, but the original argument was, Ink was always talking about his foods like they were super like exotic and special, and he would say like bao or something, and I was like, why don't you just say dumpling? And he'd insist that bao is very different, or he'd say banh mi, and I was like, why don't you just say like Vietnamese sandwich? And he's insisted it was different, and I always got so mad that he R.I.P. Inc. No disrespect, that he kind of like fetishized these foods of other cultures, and I would get so mad and say, at what point, what's the cutoff line? What's the cutoff line that you call it a banh mi or a sandwich? Like, what is the cutoff? Because if you fucking say it's made by Vietnamese people, I'm gonna jump on you. And I know I was fighting with Nidre and Somegi about this. Surprise, surprise, both white. But if Somegi wants to come defend the point, she would. I remember she was a Ink supporter, an Ink enabler that said that she does prefer people say banh mi because it brings to mind a certain type of sandwich and more details are better. I totally disagree, but I want to bring since chat's fucking talking about it right now. Chat and the people in this voice chat right now, what is the cutoff between calling things what they are and by foreign name? So like
Well-
a good example would be banh mi and sandwich, I
Yeah.
get.
So I think as a starting point of a conversation, I would always introduce the dish by its formal name, and then if someone asks, like, "Oh, I don't know what that is," then you can clarify what it is.
That's
But-
a hipster. That's a hipster take. That's what hipsters do.
No,
they'll be like,
no,
they'll be like, oh, how was your Saturday? Oh, I just spent it planking at the, at the pier, and then they're inviting you to ask questions like, what's planking? What pier? And that's their fucking opening to fucking blog about their day. So I totally disagree if that's your fucking separation. But continue. I just feel like you're on the wrong path already here.
No, but this is how you have an established conversation between people. Otherwise, you just truncate all conversations with the most like delineated, narrow form of a conversation, and the most reductionist of all terms all the time. Like, where is the conversation going? At least you have a starting point where you say, I had bought me or whatever, and then you can elaborate further and go in and create a conversation and all these great things. Oh, I visited Vietnam once, blah, 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 blah.
Do you speak a second language?
I do.
Okay.
Poorly, but I do.
French, I'm guessing?
No. God, no. Non-French Canada hates French Canada and vice versa. There's no love lost there.
What's your second language?
I speak Lebanese poorly.
Okay, I don't
Oh,
know
really?
I don't know any Lebanese words, but
Did not know that.
I was going to say, should not have brought TV on you to this video.
This is going off the rails.
It is a word of warning for next time.
Hold on, so Maggie has a thing. I'm about to get mad. The way I see it, saying I ate a banh mi versus I ate a sandwich is the same as saying I ate a Reuben versus I ate a sandwich. It's just giving more specific information. I'll tackle that. You agree with? Oh my god! Again,
Maggie is always correct. I don't think I've ever disagreed with you.
No. I wish I had BC or Lion on here to tip the scales, but let me. Okay, so I don't know any Lebanese, but I'm saying like if you know another language, for example, let's say, let's use the English has incorporated a lot of Japanese words with different pronunciations. So like if you're talking to an English speaker, would you say karaoke, which is the accepted official English pronunciation of that word, or would you go full weeb and try to correct people and say karaoke?
No. So it depends who you're speaking to. But if you're speaking to another like English speaker, you'd say karaoke. You don't need to be performative. That
is performative. Thank you. It's performative. So if you took another English speaking friend to go eat a Vietnamese sandwich, would you say let's go get some banh mi, or would you say let's get a Vietnamese sandwich?
Let's get a Vietnamese sandwich. Come on.
I think.
Yeah, so it depends again, obviously, if they know what it is or not, and you can introduce them to
I
it.
think everybody knows what a
depends on
Vietnamese
the
sandwich
but when you-
is.
when you
I think
just-
everybody knows what a Vietnamese
No,
sandwich
When you
but
just
they
call
don't
it
know
a
what the
sandwich,
term is.
you're like
Yeah.
when you just say, "Let's go get a sandwich at this Vietnamese restaurant."
I feel like
Yeah, but then to condense that, instead of saying sandwich at a Vietnamese restaurant, you could just say let's get banh mi, because it already contains. Obviously, that means it's Vietnamese.
oh no.
So if you're being efficient
Why are
in
we
your
circling
language,
to
I
this?
would say that.
There's a
First
whole,
of
we
all,
got a
I'm
whole
gonna-
can of worms.
Yeah, there's a whole can of. First of all, I'm gonna call out BC. BC says, "Is pho just spicy ramen?" You're trading one foreign term for another foreign term, BC. Why don't you just say pho is noodles? Why don't you just say Vietnamese noodles? Spicy ramen? What the fuck? Like that's like saying, is taco just folded Mexican pizza or some shit like that? Or is quesadilla just a Mexican? Is quesadilla just a Mexican pizza? That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hope BC reflects on this and looks inward.
Mouse call out. Well, just speaking as a Filipino, I must say. So Maggie brings up a good point about needing more details to explain food, but I just feel like saying it's Vietnamese is so unnecessary.
Hold on, I need to clap back on that. Clap back on the unnecessary BC saying Vietnamese noodles is hella syllables. So are we just gonna give in to the Zoomers and start shortening everything to like
V
I
V
went to
noodle,
get-
V noodle.
Yeah, I
some
went
V
to go
noodles.
get. I went to go get saw. I went to go get a slice of za, at the Zaria, right? Like, is that how you want to fucking talk? Words mean things. That's a BC.
So
code.
so
Language
instead
means
of
things.
a Vietnamese sandwich, we'll say, "Hey, I'm getting a V Sammy."
How about you just say sandwich and then specify Vietnamese if there's any follow-up question. Like, I feel like it's appropriate to go say, I'm gonna go meet my 2 friends at noon, instead of saying, I'm gonna go meet my 2 black friends at noon. I feel like that's an unnecessary specification, and by feeling that you need to...
No, I always say when I'm gonna go meet my black friends, so people know that I'm woke.
That you have black
exactly.
friends.
It depends who you're talking to. It's all context sensitive.
So that was a bad example, because obviously you would specify black friends if you have black friends in this day and age, because people just need to know. Like, people need to know. That's not expected. But, like, you don't go say, I'm gonna go meet my 2 Mexican friends or my 2 Venezuelan friends. Like, that feels like an unnecessary conditional on there. Like, it almost feels racist that you have to specify the race of it. So why can't you just say, I'm gonna go get a sandwich, instead of, I'm gonna go get a Vietnamese sandwich, right?
So Mega is just
killing me.
Oh yeah,
This is killing me.
yeah, just a sandwich.
Really,
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah, so Meggy is again correct.
I don't think I've ever actually like if hey, like what? Let's go get us. I don't think I've ever said the sentence. Let's go get a sandwich. I'm not sure that's like I usually don't. I don't usually specify the food. Like
Okay, you know what? No. Everyone's saying Somegi's correct. Somegi's correct. Let me address what Somegi said. Somegi said, whenever I go get a burger, I just say I'm gonna go get a sandwich, and don't elaborate. So I'm sure that was sarcastic, and people are agreeing with her. But the whole point is, look, there's a very clear difference between burger and sandwich. Okay, because burgers need to require meat. You can't have a meatless burger and call it a burger.
Wrong.
That's not a thing. No, that's not a thing.
You
You live in
you have
Canada,
a
Tree Boy.
ton-
This is different.
Yeah,
you could
Impossible.
get it with portobello mushroom.
You get Impossible
you could get it with
burgers.
Beyond Meat. Yeah. There's
okay,
lots
these
of
are
Beyond
meat
Meat.
substitutes because because burgers require meat. You have very specific meat substitutes. Okay, you can have a sandwich without meat. That's whatever Sideway's favorite fucking sandwich is. A fucking cabbage sandwich. or some shit.
cabbage sandwich.
Lettuce sandwich.
good.
Lettuce sandwich is Sideway's favorite
Lettuce
fucking
sandwich.
food. Yeah, you can say lettuce sandwich, but you can't say lettuce burger because burger. The definition of a burger, it has to have a meat, and people will substitute the fucking meat in there. That's wrong. So there's a very clear difference between burger and sandwich, but there is not a clear difference between sandwich and Vietnamese sandwich unless you're a racist.
Yeah. Well, everybody
yeah.
knows. Everybody knows hamburger. You know what makes a hamburger is coming from the Hamburg region of France.
That's not a real place. That's not a real place.
Hamburg.
I'm
Yeah, I'm pretty
Googling
that right
pretty
now.
pretty sure Hamburg is. I'm pretty sure Hamburg is a real place.
That's Germany, not France. Get out of here.
No, they're the
See,
same. They're the same country.
It's Germany.
Yeah.
No.
It's all Europe.
Mark's making shit up just like the lot story again. Like this is casting lots all over again. Like,
Mino, you have talked yourself out of support. People who once believed in you have now jumped off the bandwagon.
Mark is misdirecting. He's trying to cover up for his embarrassing German France.
No, it was a
Hamburg,
joke.
France.
Champagne is only from the Champagne region of France. I know Hamburg is in Germany. Come on.
No, this is classic
It's a
misdirection.
joke.
to a loser.
The joke. Frankfurter.
Frankfurt.
A Frankfurter is someone from Frankfurt. Especially if you capitalize it.
I'm just glad nobody called me out for calling it unnecessary when I made this whole rant about HP damage and HP dumps. I'm very thank you guys.
You're
Where,
welcome.
on what?
letting me off the hook.
Where did you do that?
Don't remember?
It was
No.
drama for like 2 weeks.
I don't remember.
We just reopened the old wound of HP dumps versus Brave dumps and all this.
When?
I don't remember
On what?
having
No,
that
what the
conversation.
heck?
God, how long was
Yeah,
it?
I'm
2
just glad
months ago?
nobody
Stein?
remembers. Yeah.
2 or 3 months. It was
2
it
months
was a
ago.
while back.
2?
You know what? I just want to add one last death blow to Somege's shit argument about
Death blow. This one will do it.
sandwiches versus hamburgers. Is that hamburgers are completely different from sandwiches, and that there's a hamburglar, but you can't have a sandwichler because that's not a fucking thing. Okay, like hamburglar, because you burgle hamburgers, right? Like,
What's happening?
what are you gonna fucking call the hamburglar a sandwich thief now? Because that's just not kosher. You just can't fucking do that. That's a logical fail. If you take the P implies Q version of logic math, that just doesn't add up at all.
Here you go. I'm gonna share the. I can't. I have to do it on Twitch. Share the hot dog is a hot dog a sandwich podcast. I'm pretty sure all of these. Is a hot pocket a dumpling? There you go. That's a good one.
Cereal a soup.
What constitutes as a dumpling?
Exactly. There's a whole
Yeah,
podcast. Is a chicken nugget a meatball? Good conversation.
Oh, speaking of chicken nuggets, if any of you
nuggies.
if any of you fucking weebs ever say tonkatsu instead of chicken nuggets, you are a fucking weeb.
Am I in Japan? Do I go to the counter at the Japanese restaurant and I say I want some chicken nuggies? No.
If you go to Japan,
Lock me
you're
out of the
far gone.
The
establishment.
context. But the thing is, you're not in Japan. Tree
Right
boy.
now. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Now. Maybe.
You're not ordering from a Japanese person. You are describing the food. So you better fucking stick to the term. So like the only acceptable time for you to use banh mi is if you were in Vietnam ordering from a Vietnamese restaurant and you somehow change your citizenship to Vietnam. And that's the only acceptable time that you should ever say banh mi.
So it's like a race locked word. So you have to be Vietnamese to say the Vietnamese
It's
phrase.
not a race, it's an ethnicity, all right? There's a difference.
Oh, sorry. It's an ethnic locked word. Is that
have to
is
be
that
this.
where we're going
You
now?
have
We're like resegregating society.
It is a cultural word. It is cultural respect. It is the opposite of cultural appropriation. Just like you should
Xenophobia.
just like you should like wear a do-rag or style dreadlocks in your hair because it's disrespectful unless you are completely authentic about the cultural exchange here.
Aren't you the American here? You're all about the melting pot. You know, I come from the country where it's a mosaic of different cultures, and everyone's like separate but equal. But you know, in America, everyone's supposed to melt together. It's all the same. There is no my culture, your culture. So why are we now getting into like, oh, this is what the Vietnamese people can do, and this is
God.
Yeah. Like, come on.
I'm getting so fucking
So
mad
the
right
white
now.
people aren't allowed to say these words anymore. There's like, oh no, white's not allowed anymore.
I'm getting so fucking mad right now because
Say it.
this just reminds me of Mark's "I don't see color" thing. You can't say shit like "I don't see color." This is the whole, oh, isn't it one culture and not separate cultures? Because "I don't see color" is only white people say "I don't see color" because it's not I don't want to respect all the individual cultures out there. It's I'm gonna ignore all of that and pretend culture doesn't exist. And that's what you're doing right now. You are mistaking the melting pot as let's just mesh into one giant blob instead of respecting where everybody came from. That's a very different definition of diversity. So it's like, oh, I see that you are a Vietnamese person and you are going through these struggles and your life is different from me. That's the respect instead of you're in America, you don't have to deal with these prejudices. You're basically a white person, which is,
No, that's not what it means. It means you get all the best parts of every culture and you turn it into the mega culture, like Americana, right? You're elevating everyone to that level. It's the synthesis of all the best parts of the world. That's the American dream, baby. Like, come on. Why do I have more American pride than you?
That is literally the motivation of the Borg from Star Trek. You are fucking citing some supervillain sci-fi shit right now. It is not a good look. It is not a good path. Assimilation. Like, let's all assimilate into one instead of respecting different cultures. Like, that's what you're fucking talking about right now.
My goodness. This is why America is failing. You don't even know your own values anymore.
What was the original quote of why America was failing? Where did that,
I don't remember.
where did that come from? Yeah, like Saraya said, we're talking eugenics now. Fucking
No.
boy.
I'm talking culture, not anything else. This is the whole point about American culture.
I agree with BC. TV is a Canadian. Why is he mansplaining America to Americans? Like, I agree. This is the next level cultural appropriation. Like, it's bad enough you took Elvis from us already and tried to fucking appropriate him. And now you're trying to fucking tell me what it is to be American. Like,
I'm not telling you. I'm educating you.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, it's like you're less educated. I mean,
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, look, have
Wow.
you seen the state of American schools? I mean, come on, let's be honest here. No offense. You know, I
In
love
terms of
America. I love capitalism. I love money. You know, I'm a capitalist. All my friends are capitalists, but you know, there's some problems, right? You know, I think we can all admit that. I just want to help.
I don't see different between cultures.
bleeding heart tree boy comes back.
That's why I think all sandwiches are the same. No, I would argue, I would push back against that, but I'm getting very tired, so I think it's time for closing thoughts. You know what? No, I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back. You know what? How do I ban Somegi from talking in our chat? Because this is just making me so mad every time
So
he types
good.
something.
So good.
I don't see differences.
So good.
Look, it's not about it's not about not seeing differences between different cultural sandwiches, okay? It's about respecting the sandwiches. For example, I respect do-rags and dreadlocks, but I would never wear do-rags and dreadlocks, right? So it's acknowledging they exist and respecting it and understanding it's not for you. So you can
So I can't
respect
eat a Vietnamese sandwich?
Yeah.
No, you can. You just can't call it a banh mi. Like, you can eat a
I can't call it a banh mi.
You can
I have to call it a Vietnamese
appreciate-
sandwich.
You can appreciate a Vietnamese sandwich, and you can acknowledge there are Vietnamese sandwiches. Just call it a Vietnamese sandwich. Don't call it a banh mi. It's like that movie Roots, right? White people aren't allowed to say kuta kente. That was the takeaway of the movie, because that's cultural appropriation. Am I the only one that saw Roots? Do you guys not watch history? Like, I wish BC was here. He got the joke. You guys are all. You guys are. You're the whitest post-show co-host I've
I'm
ever
not even
had.
white. Oh,
Oh my god.
I'm not even white.
I'm
I am
sitting
so
here
white.
listening to all of this.
Like Lion said, banh mi is the kuta kente of sandwich. Okay, that's the final word. If you guys are good with it, it's time for closing thoughts because I'm getting tired.
yeah, I'm good with that.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Shinryu.
we'll go guests first then. We'll go guests first. Sine wave, since you were so quiet in the background there for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, I just hope everybody is ready. Monday there will be a special event. It's called
Actually-
Banh Mi Mondays. I'm gonna
Okay, you know what? Fuck
post
you.
a bunch of pictures.
I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off right now. Sine wave. What is your ethnicity? Because if I recall correctly, it's Filipino, right?
It's Puerto Rican.
Yes, of course. Yes,
Which
Filipino.
one? Yeah, we threw out three ethnicities
He
out there. and
said
you
it
yes.
several
Which-
times.
Which one is it? Yeah, like which
He's
one
mentioned.
Filipino, I
He's
said
mentioned it
Filipino.
several
Oh.
times in the
Okay,
post show.
I'm very not here right now. Okay, so yeah, you're Filipino. Would you rather people call it a Filipino sandwich or a Jollibee?
Isn't Jollibee a restaurant?
Right?
The Jollibee is
that's
a
the
restaurant, Mark is
comparison right here.
I'd rather just people call it a sandwich.
Is there a
honestly, but-
Jollibee sandwich?
Thank you, chat. Did you guys hear this? He would rather people just say sandwich.
Filipino sandwich.
He would rather no. He said sandwich.
Filipino
He'd rather
sandwich,
just
right?
people say sandwich. Right?
It doesn't matter to me. Maybe that's just a me thing.
Do
It just
they
doesn't matter to
serve
me if you,
sandwiches at
that's
the Jollibee?
Japanese or stuff.
I've never
Yeah,
been. I've never
yeah,
been to
sometimes.
one. I don't get them. We don't have them here.
It's mostly burgers, but sometimes there's.
Oh,
sandwiches.
but they're not sandwiches. They're burgers. There we
Yeah.
go. I'm looking.
Yeah.
Oh, they serve fried chicken. Nice.
Okay, BC says your opinion is invalidated because you're an FF2 fan. So let's move on
Oh
to.
yeah, well that's true. That's true.
Let's
Well,
move on to.
well,
Let's,
Come on,
That's true.
I'm the only one here who's actually like of a different race. Come on, what's happening
This
here?
is not true.
yeah, that's not true at all. What do you, that's
This is
racist.
erasure.
That's
I'm being
racist.
erased.
Yeah,
live.
it is the same. Then.
Wait, what?
I'm the only person here of a different race. What?
Yeah, what
I don't think
the fuck
anybody
are you
here is
trying
of
to
the
say?
same race.
Yeah, you think we're all the same race?
This
Like,
is
what
a
the-
multi-ethnic,
No.
multi-racial
Holy
group right
shit.
now.
What? Sign. What?
Multiracial lions here?
What race do you think is represented in the room besides
Yeah,
yourself?
what, did you? Do you think Mark is white?
I am not white.
Am I getting my
don't
words
answer
wrong
for him.
again?
Don't answer for him. Don't put words in his mouth. Sidewave. Do you think Mark is white?
I think I used the wrong word.
No. Don't pack battle now. These are yes or no questions. Do you think Mark is white?
Well, he shows up on stream, so I assume so.
So yes. Okay, so you say yes. Okay, well, you'd be correct. Do you think TV is white?
Isn't he from? Wait, aren't you from Canada? I thought you were American.
What? No, I love America,
You
but
are?
I'm not
I
from
love America.
You mentioned that
Don't-
once, right?
Don't
You,
support me. I love America.
America.
I think I used the wrong word. I think.
Do you
Yeah.
think
What
TV
is
is
it
white?
again?
Yeah, what do you think my race is? Come on, guess.
Yeah. Do you think TV is white?
Huh?
Yes
What
or
did
no?
you say?
No. Don't worry. You're not on trial here.
Yeah.
This is just an
I am
interrogation.
on trial.
It is. Yes or no? Yes or no?
This is not a trial. This is an
It's
interrogation.
interrogation now.
Do you think TV is white?
Yes.
Look at
Hasn't he mentioned it once?
And yeah.
We're giving you
and,
hints in the chat.
and I think you'd be correct because I
Wrong.
think he has Lebanese ancestry and Lebanese are white passing. So that's 2 for 2.
Wait,
Do you
is that real?
Do you think I'm white?
No, you've said it multiple times.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, right. We're not all the same.
I used the wrong word. What did you say again? If you're like American, but you're not American? Ethnicity? Or
Yeah.
if you're not
yeah,
from like America, what do you say?
yeah.
We
Ethnicity,
all
you're right.
live
EFO
in the
moment,
Western
sorry.
Hemisphere.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's an ESL moment. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah. That's why when
This is-
you
this is-
asked if it's the right word, I told you for real. Yeah, you're right. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. It's just a funny gag, and you were right though.
I know.
It's 2 whites and 2 Asians in here. So
Done.
oh no, sorry, 2 whites, an Asian, and a Pacific Island.
I guess I'm white now.
Yeah.
I just learned
Suck it,
something
you're
about
white.
myself today.
You're
Yeah.
white now. Congratulations.
New lore just dropped.
It's
Okay, and
it's.
then-
I'm gonna give you a primer. It's a good life. We got a lot going on for us right now. 20 years from now, maybe not so
A
much.
wonderful life. That's the orientation video.
Yeah,
for
no,
you
that
now.
is our orientation video. So if you watch It's a Wonderful Life, you'll realize, yeah, we got pretty good. Yeah.
All right, closing thoughts, TV.
Yeah, so I don't adhere to the woke mob. So Mino is trying to cancel my speech. I'm going to call something what I want to call it. And I'm not going to use like this censored pussyfooting around saying like, oh, I can't use the word banh mi because I'm not the right ethnicity. So that's my final statement. Say what you want to say. Don't be afraid to say it, right? Like embrace who you are and your speech. If other people don't like you for that, you cancel them. Don't get canceled.
How do you cancel them?
Be the alpha.
Twitter.
Yeah, you assert your
Oh,
dominance.
fuck,
over
come
there.
on. If you're gonna meme, at least meme from this century. It's Sigma now. That overrides Alpha. Alpha's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Way to show your age. What are you, in your 30s? No, late 20s or something? Like, that's an old ass fucking meme. You would be laughed off of TikTok right now, as BC would say.
Good. I cancel. TikTok would cancel me anyways, just from what I just said. I can't stay on that platform anymore.
Oh, closing thoughts, Mark.
Go play Dokkan Battle. It's in its 7th year. Seems to be doing good. Great. There's a podcast for it, so yeah.
Joe's?
Yeah, they do a podcast. Super fun.
All right. I got nothing else. Hopefully that was enough Mino to make up for last week. I'm tired of shit. Let's call it.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks.